Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of comiXalliance. And today we're going to be talking about speculating and comic book investments. My name is Chris.
And I'm Joe.
And yeah, so welcome back to our channel again. And if you guys have an Instagram, please feel free to follow us at COMIXALLIANCE. That is comiXalliance, where we'll be doing a lot of posts in regards to what we picked up, what we're collecting, and anything either nerdy or geeky related as well. So just to get started, the whole reason why we wanted to do this issue is because we are basically beginners on our own for when it comes to investing and speculating on comic books. So we wanted to share our experiences with you in the beginning of the journey for it. So did you want to start off with this one, Joe?
Yeah, so I've mentioned things before with Chris about the omnibus collection and collecting. So I just want to throw out my first omnibus was the Flashpoint omnibus, the 10-year anniversary. This thing was $150, and I'm sure you could tell just by its size. This thing is a beast. It's bigger than most other ones you're going to find out in the wild. So I decided to pick that up as my first one. One, because I want to read Flashpoint, and it has everything in it. But because they do tend to, like, once they sell out, like, that's it, they're gone. And you have to wait for a reprint, and they kind of shoot up in price. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to both get the entirety of Flashpoint and something that's going to go up in value. I'll probably never sell it, but it's just one of those things that, it's nice to just have, a nice expensive, piece of history, and who knows, like maybe this thing will get remapped later, or have a better mapping, and maybe some stuff can be added or taken out that can cause the specific version of it to go up in price. So that was my first go with, oh, well, I'm sorry, not my first go with like investing in something, but my first go with an omnibus or partially for collecting purposes. And my next one is I'm going to be picking up soon, but I will post that on our IG if you want to know what that is going to be, because I've only bought one Omni at this point.
Very
So
cool.
yeah,
Very
I'll
cool.
leave my second one as a surprise for everybody because I'm pretty excited
Nice.
for it.
Yeah, very cool. I completely agree with the investment in the omnibus format, just because a lot of these books are definitely a lot harder to put together. Therefore, they don't print them as much as the single issues that they put out. And as you can see here, I have a majority or a decent amount of omnibus that I've been collecting. Um, for setting them in as an investment. They're actually books that I want to keep for the long run, but either way, they're probably going to go up in value because they're either out of print or high in demand. Especially when some of these Marvel movies have been coming out, like those start to go off the shelf and go out of print very fast. Like for example, some of the Infinity Gauntlet omnibus that have come out. I think they've done like a four reprints on Infinity Gauntlet already, and when they did that reprint, it sold out so fast. So I was glad to jump on it before it was going out of print, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna reprint that because the demand for it is high. Some of the other hardcovers or omnibus that are that haven't had reprints, or just some of them haven't had reprints for over a decade, and one example of that are the Ultimate Spider-Man hardcovers. I don't think they've ever had a reprint for them besides the omnibus format. But even the omnibus format, they haven't reached, or they haven't finished the entire run yet. I think they've only released the first two volumes before, and that only collects up to volume 6 or 7, I believe. But just to share one of my first um, or one of the things in my collection that I've been collecting as an investment. But I think this might be something that I want to keep in the future, which is Stan Sakai's Osagi Yojimbo Saga.
That's
These
awesome.
are really awesome books to collect. They have all similar spines. This is volume 9, so they've had many of these printed. Well, not necessarily many. They have volumes 1 through 9 and Legends, I believe. But each copy are limited to, I believe, 1,500 copies or less. So
Wow.
once these sell out, that's pretty much it, unless they have a reprint, which they did just recently. They did a reprint for volume 1 and I think volume 2. But even that got sold out so fast because of their limited printing. They're a very deluxe format and nice compilation to collect Osagi Yojimbo in this format. So that is definitely one format that I love investing in are the hardcovers because they just collect everything.
One Usagi Yojimbo that I was actually looking at was that new print they're doing, the Origins. It's in full color, and it's like promoting his like first time in color and all that.
Oh yeah,
And
I got that one too.
yeah, it looks so cool. Do you have it like on hand, like somewhere you could
If
reach it right now? I want to.
I think I do. Let me see.
Nice. Yeah, I don't think it's sold out yet. I don't know if it's something that's
Yeah.
going to go up in value. That's really nice. It's a paperback, right?
Yeah, it's a paperback. I kind of wish they did a hardcover format, but maybe eventually, maybe if like they release multiple volumes and collect more in
Yeah,
the
they'll get like the Origins in color and put that in a full hardcover.
yeah.
I know I'm a sucker for things like that, like
Yeah.
The Walking Dead. Like obviously, I have like the
Going in
trades
color.
to read in black and white, and then they're just like, "Oh, we're doing it in color," and I'm like, "All right, cool. I guess I'm buying the entire series in color now." Like, all right, here's my money. So the fact that they're doing it with Usagi Yojimbo, I'll probably do that. But I also want to buy the those collections. They're probably about this thick. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen them. I don't think it's considered an Omni. They're
Oh,
hardcover.
for Osagi Yojimbo?
Yeah, and there's like 8 or
Oh
9 of
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry, it's not hardcover. It's a paperback. But
Yeah, I've
I
seen
would like to
those.
say trade paperback, but I don't know if that's the. It's
I
more of a
think they do.
compendium.
Yeah, I think they either call it compendium or omnibus because some other publishers call their omnibus, omnibus, but it's not like your Marvel or DC omnibus where it's hardcover and oversized.
Yeah. Yeah, I have within reach. I can just grab this and show.
The Hellboy one, right?
Yes, this right here. This isn't
Yeah.
one of the things for the collecting purposes, but just anyone watching kind of getting what he's talking about. It says omnibus up here, and there's 4 of them from this specific series, because there's also like the BPRD and stuff, and I think they list them all as omnibus, which is just really odd. But like, I don't know why compendium doesn't work.
Yeah.
To me, I associate like omnibus with this giant, like fat hardcover, and then compendium with a huge paperback, like
Yeah,
the
basically.
Invincible ones. That's just
Yeah.
me. But I think if there was a little more consistency with the publishers, it would definitely be a little easier to know what you're looking forward to. Or when you're looking through like the previews magazines and it's like omnibus, and it's just like paperback, like ah, like I
Yeah.
was hoping it was going to be another like one of the hardcovers.
Yeah, they're definitely pristine when it comes to Marvel and DC's omnibus format.
Oh yeah, it's so nice. And my introduction to the omnibus, I may have mentioned this before. I know I say that exact line on almost every podcast. Um, the first time I'd ever seen an omnibus in person was at your house. It was the Amazing Spider-Man one with Amazing Fantasy on the cover.
Yeah, I think I
And
actually gave you the honors of opening it, right?
yeah, and I was just like, "Are you sure?" Like, like this thing is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, do you like? Are you really like sure you want me to open that? But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it was.
I've opened other omnibus before, so I wanted you to have like an awesome, memorable experience
Oh,
opening
and
up
it
your
was,
first one.
and it wasn't
Yeah.
even mine. My first one was that Flash, and
Nice.
Shelby bought her first Omni recently, and it was the Alien Origin, or I'm sorry, the uh was it called Original Years or something like that?
Yeah,
Uh,
original years.
yeah, and it was cool. Like I lagged on opening the Flashpoint because to be completely honest, I was afraid of damaging the spine, but
Yeah.
she wanted to look at the art in the alien one, so we sat there together and we opened them at the same time, and we stretched the spines together, and it was kind of a cool experience to do, to like share that with someone,
Oh,
you
very
know,
cool.
like yeah, like both of our first omnis, like we opened them together and got to like, you know, learn what we were doing with each other, and not damage them, and we were both successful, if anyone was wondering.
Yeah.
No broken spines.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
The only thing that does um that I definitely try to avoid when opening and stretching out spines is spoiling the stuff for myself. So I have to like look
Yeah.
straight ahead while, turning the pages without having to look at stuff that I
Yeah.
might spoil myself on.
Oh yeah, no, I saw some stuff in there that was kind of spoilery, and I was just like, yeah, I should probably not like read the like word bubbles while I'm going
Yeah,
through this.
yeah,
I
or the
don't want to.
pictures.
Yeah, like I don't want to see like, someone getting clapped in a page and just like, oops, didn't want to see that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens. So I mean, you got to stretch the spine. You got to be careful with it. So I'd
Right.
rather get like a small moment spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, uh Actually, going into the next topic of investing, if you don't mind,
Oh, go for it.
since we did kind of go over Osagi Yojimbo, it's actually one of my examples for another, I guess, type of investments getting into, which are artists. So if you like a specific artist, this one is done by Peach Momoko, which she does amazing artwork for specifically for Osagi Yojimbo, I think. And getting into artist variants and artist covers is definitely very popular, especially nowadays. A lot of people, collect just mainly the covers as more of an art piece as opposed to like actually reading the comic book. And you know, when the artists become very popular and high in demand, their issues just go way up, especially when it comes to low print runs for specific issues and specific titles as well.
Oh yeah.
So you just have to do your research, see which artists are very popular right now. So most likely their prices for their books are going to be up. Sometimes they're once they become really popular, then it could be kind of oversaturated in the market, and you can still find them for cover price. Like for example, another one, I don't know if you have one to show, which is Scotty Young's variants and stuff. Um,
I Not anything that wouldn't be worth something. No, well, I do, but not on hand. Like not something I could just reach for and grab.
oh, gotcha. Yeah, but yeah, like another format for that would be, like I said, the artist variants and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One person, and I'm probably gonna get the dagger eyes for saying this from Shelby because she's within earshot. One person she's an amazing artist, but the market's becoming oversaturated with her work is Peach Momoko. Like she's incredible, but her art used to be, like the rare variants that you'd pay like $25 for. And granted, there are still some of those, but we're starting to find
Yeah,
like a lot of like cover Bs and cover Cs that, are just regular variants. Like they're not incentive variants anymore. And like that's great for her getting that work, and being able to get her like stuff out there. But it used to be kind of a treat to find that Peach Momoko cover. And now like there's just like a stack of them sitting on the shelf,
right.
because they're doing like the higher prints of that variant, which is
Yeah,
good. Like it's good and bad, I guess. Like
yeah,
from an investment standpoint, it's bad. From a collection standpoint of just having these amazing art pieces,
yeah,
because there's always like personal value. Like I have tons of stuff that I know is never going to be worth money, but I own it because it has personal value to me, and
yeah.
that you can't put a price on that literally. So I mean, it's good from that aspect.
Yeah, I completely agree. When it comes to the artist variants, also, even if they're oversaturated now, I'm kind of wondering if it's still a good idea to invest in it anyway. Therefore, like maybe eventually in the future, sometime like 5 or 10 years later, where they get off contract like with the publisher, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, like you're never gonna see Peach Momoko work on another Marvel cover. So
Yeah,
these Marvel covers are now gonna be collectible
yeah,
because they're not gonna be printed, and it's gonna be not as oversaturated later.
yeah. Like,
So
what if like Scotty Young, like, oh, like I'm done, like I'm retiring. We'll never see another Scotty Young cover again. You know. So
yeah.
will all of his like cover Bs and cover Cs that never went up in value become worth something?
Yeah,
It's
that's definitely
possible.
on the speculation aspect of it. So if you guys collect what you love, when you do that, you tend to be a little more happier when it comes to investing in things like that, as opposed to just trying to invest in something to flip it for money.
Yeah, and
So
that's a whole other conversation that I'm not going to get into.
yeah,
Like buying just to flip for money, like buying because you love and buying and like and then flipping some stuff is one thing, but you know what, I am going to get into this for a second. The people who buy strictly to flip and don't even like know about this stuff, like it drives me crazy. Like when I was working at GameStop, I had a guy come in and he was kind of giving me a hard time because he was looking for a certain pack from, I
for
think it was
Pokemon.
no, for
Oh,
Magic. I think
oh,
it
okay,
was, I want to say it was Throne of Eldraine. It was like right when it came out,
yeah.
and there was a single card that was almost like guaranteed to be in a limited version of these packs.
Mhm.
Because like I don't know if you've been keeping up on a lot of the different like stuff Wizards have been releasing with Magic. I
For the
know
most
like
part, yeah.
I know you and John are like very much like keeping up on some of the stuff, but I don't know if like beyond like the collector stuff that's coming out, like all like how they're doing like theme boosters now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was like a pack that was, it wasn't a theme booster, but it was like a pack that had like a unique mix of stuff in there, I guess. Like it was something that they did like a limited print of, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably
And
the collector's pack that you're talking about, or like a gift set. And I have one of those
it
sealed right
wasn't
now.
it wasn't the gift set. It was only like a $15 pack. And it
Mm.
came in a box, like a little like cardboard box. Kind of like
It's like
the
it's like purple, right?
yes. Do you remember the Time
I
Spiral one
have
that
it.
just came out?
I have it.
Is it Throne of Eldraine, the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, and you know the Time Spiral re-releases they did? It comes in a
Yeah.
box similar to that, right?
Yeah, like a fat pack.
Yeah, no. No, no, no. It's just a small little box, like maybe this big.
Oh,
Like
okay, yeah.
maybe
I
like
know
a
what you're
little bit
talking about.
bigger than a wallet. There,
Yeah.
that's a good way to put it, like a standard wallet, like maybe a little bit taller. So it was like maybe like 14 or $15 or something like that. And he came in and I didn't meet a lot of Magic players there. So he comes in, he's asking me if I have that. And I was just like, oh, let me check. He's like, yeah, like I've been trying to find one everywhere. And I was like, oh, like, are you a Magic player? And he's just like, oh no, my friend told me to buy it. And I was like, oh, why? Like, is he trying to get you into Magic? And he's like, no, there's just some like expensive card in there and just gonna sell it. Just like, for real, dude, like you're just trying to like make money, knowing that there's like an expensive card. And those cards tend to be expensive because of their utility in the
Yeah.
game. So it's like people want them because they're good to have in your deck, not because it's just a rare card in general, that's like
Yeah.
hard to find. Well, I mean, granted, yes, they are like rare and harder to find, but you get what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, so those people, like, they drive me nuts. They drive me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Uh,
Basically like scalpers.
yeah, like if you're invested in the product, you know, like
Hmm.
if it's like a hobby and you're just grabbing like extra stuff because you want to
Yeah.
like make some money, I'm okay
Hmm.
with that because there's nothing wrong with the hobby paying for itself.
Yeah.
But it's the people who have zero interest in this stuff who are literally just trying to make a buck and screw everybody else over.
Yeah.
That's what I
Unfortunately.
hate. Yeah, but that's a whole other story. I won't go beyond that. That's a that's issue 14. No, I'm just kidding. We should do a whole podcast on that. I can talk about this for days.
Yeah.
Do a whole series on it. But anyway, back to the original point. So, uh, there's something I was going to mention about an Omni that we were talking about too. Something about a specific Omni that you had. being worth money, I
that
think.
I had or that I have right
Had.
now.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. How
Mm.
you were talking about the Infinity War, like the different ones.
Oh yeah.
So I'm completely new to the Omni game.
Mm.
I've mentioned this before. I knew nothing of them even when I was getting back into collecting. And I
Yeah.
was looking through, I think it was a previews magazine, and I saw like Infinity War, like, Omnibus, like reprint or whatever it was. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, nice, like a collection with like everything in there. And I'm reading it, I'm like, this is awesome. And it's like
Hmm.
$125. And I was like, or $100 or whatever. And I was like, who the hell's gonna spend that much? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, damn, I wish I bought that. Because like I
Honestly,
remember,
it's. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, I knew about this coming out. I had the money for it. I could have got the jump on it. I could have
Yeah.
bought one and had it in my collection. And not that I think it's like this like insane like price that like skyrocketed to, but every day I wait to buy it, it's potentially just going to increase, way more than it's worth to me right now. And
Yeah.
I could have had that, and that would have
Yeah.
been nice.
I definitely had that same feeling when I had totally missed out on, what was it, Uncanny X-Men Volume 2.
Yeah.
That one came out, and it was going for about 90 to $100 on Amazon or comic shops. And I saw it in stock for at least maybe close to 2 months, and I kept on waiting, and I'm like, oh, it's still in stock. Like, I'm surprised. All right, I guess I have time to wait and maybe buy it for a few dollars cheaper. And sure enough, it went out of stock, and now
Oh,
it's not even available to buy on through Amazon or some of the other comic book sites besides eBay, going for double the price or whatever. So,
yeah.
but luckily, since I do a ton of research when it comes to reprints on Omnibus already, they are having a reprint on that
Oh,
sometime in
nice.
December this year. So I'm
So you
glad I
didn't
waited.
completely get screwed.
Yeah, because I knew they were gonna reprint that again, because it's just one of those omnibus that's very popular, high in demand,
Yeah.
and will definitely get a reprint. Kind of like the same thing with the some of the Spider-Man omnis and Infinity Gauntlet and stuff like that. They will definitely get a reprint, but it's just whether you have the patience to wait or not.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one that I'm sitting on, I'm worried that it's gonna happen like that X-Men one is the all new Wolverine.
Oh yeah, you better
Like
jump the gun on that one
I
if you
have
really
it
want it.
like
Yeah.
saved on Amazon, and every couple days, like I just like look at it and I'm just like, should I do it? Like,
Yeah.
should I do it? And it's just like, no, 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 next paycheck. And I'm just like, should I do it?
I mean, as
Ah,
long as you
next
get it
paycheck.
pre-ordered before the actual release date, or did it
Oh,
release
it's
already?
already out.
Oh man.
So the clock's ticking.
Yeah.
And on Amazon, it's only $90, and I'd rather pay an extra like 10 to 15 bucks and buy it from a local shop, but
Yeah. I mean, at
no
least if
one
you.
has it.
Oh wow. And they
Yeah,
can't order it. It's like in back stock already.
nobody I've asked can order it. Like, so it's gone in terms of like having somebody order it.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. Like, I keep lagging on it, and I have a feeling that one day it's gonna just say unavailable.
Yeah. That's an
Like,
example of fear of missing out.
yeah, but the fact that like this isn't just a fear of missing out. Like, I love X-23.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm just buying this like Omni because it's an Omni that just came out.
Right. Right. But
It's
you've never read it, right?
no, I have some of the other stuff like the single issues, but this is
Yeah.
a set that I've never read, and it's
Oh, nice.
weird that I've never read this, given how much I love X-23, and
Yeah.
I've read the other stuff, but
Right. Right.
yeah. So
Yeah. I mean, if you honestly, if it's something that you really love or that you know that you're gonna enjoy, then should just jump the gun.
yeah, well, because the surprise Omni that I'm not mentioning,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
I'm waiting for that to come in to pay for, so I don't want to have to pay for both of them. What if it comes in?
Right. Well,
I don't
at
want
that
to get
point, just take
stuck.
the gamble.
Just sell something,
Yeah.
sell a kidney, and anyone looking for a kidney? Oh,
I mean,
So
eventually, I think comic stores are gonna slowly start taking in trade-ins. That way, you could, trade some stuff in for
yeah,
books like that.
yeah, that's true. And I feel like I'm starting to see omnis pop up at local shops a little more too. Like
Yeah, a little bit, or maybe you just notice them now since you started collecting them.
maybe, but you know that table that Mike has
Yeah.
at a shop that always has like some variants and stuff, and then some of like the manga that's come out. He's been putting omnis up there now. He's never had omnis before. I always check that table every time I go in there. And just
Oh, that's good.
recently they've been popping up. Well, he'll put like collected editions up there
Yeah.
sometimes, but I've never seen an omni on the table until recently.
Nice.
And I'm kind of kicking myself too because remember that Superman one we saw?
Yeah. Did he sell both of them already?
Yes, and it's Patrick Gleason who wrote it, who drew
Oh,
it.
okay.
No, I said wrote it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
drew it. Yeah. And so that means like it's gonna be incredible. Like the art, like all that was gonna be worth it. Like
Yeah.
because he's the one who did the Spider-Man webhead.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with his art, I don't know if you are or not.
I am.
But
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was him or that that's like
Mhm.
the collection because I didn't like, I didn't inspect it. I just kind of looked at it, was like, damn, this thing's huge.
Yeah.
We like looked at it, asked Mike about like the writer and stuff, and you remember you were there for the whole conversation, but I
Yeah.
didn't like fully look like who had something like who had like invested in it and like you know, and I feel kind of
Right.
stupid
Right.
for like passing on that now. It's just like it still might be available somewhere, but I'm just gonna have to actually like buy it. But I'm still waiting on that all new Wolverine. So we'll see. We'll see where I go with that. That might actually
Yeah.
end up just being something for the collection,
Yeah.
as like an investment versus, something I'm dying to read because I mainly want it for the art.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just jumping back on the omnibus format, like it's just a little bit easier to quote unquote invest in. Your return won't be as much as a like a golden age comic where it's super expensive and it's just going to keep on going up and up as the years go by. But for the omnibus formats and the hardcovers, they will go up, but not like substantially. I don't think I've seen a omnibus go for any more than $1,500 to $2,000. The highest one I've possibly seen was maybe 1,000. But that's because it's been out of print for over a decade or something.
Which one was
But
this?
I think it might have been the Avengers first, like the Golden Age one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even I think I saw one for Fantastic Four once. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for an Omni
Yeah.
too.
But jumping back to finish up with the artist variants, here's another one by Delato. Uh, just another really cool cover. It's really cheap right now. I don't see it like going up in value currently, but it's just one of those covers that I feel very confident in that I'd be able to possibly sell later on down the line, even if it's not like going up much in value. But if you find that right fan that's a big fan of Delato or something, and you have that copy, then there you go.
Yeah.
So
So the next thing that I went for the investment in was these are two things that they've gone up a little bit. One I actually got from you. Uh, and I don't know like what these are going to be sitting at in a couple months, but I know the hype around it is definitely, or the hype around the show is going to have a big part. And one of them is the reprint of Invincible #1, and then the other one was a reprint of Invincible #1.
from a
So
local comic book shop day.
yeah, this one came out. Was it like August? I think, or no? When was local comic shop day? It was
I think it might have been like November or something.
okay because I remember I missed out on this completely, and
Yeah.
thankfully you had grabbed a couple, so I was able to get it from you. But
Hmm.
with all the like hype and popularity around Invincible, I made sure I wanted to grab those because it's an amazing comic, and I haven't watched the show yet because I'm trying. Well, I was trying to get past where I knew the show was going to end,
Hmm.
or at least the season. So then I could go back and watch it and it not spoil anything, even though it's kind of like shuffle, like events are kind of shuffled around.
Yeah,
And everybody's told me who's read it. I'm already past that point, so I'm probably gonna watch it soon
nice.
because I haven't finished Invincible. There's so much to read, but
Yeah,
I'm getting there. I'm about a third of the way through, I think, of the whole thing.
sweet. You
Yeah.
finished the
Well,
first compendium?
I'm at like the end of it. I just have a couple more issues.
Nice.
So yeah. So once I'm done with that, well, actually, you know what? I should probably just finish the compendium, then watch the show, just to avoid any, possible doubt
Yeah,
of, spoilers. But like I was saying about that, like I invested in those because I know that things like this, like they're limited runs, they're special covers that, they're not like a facsimile where it's like a reprint of, the original issue and it looks identical. It's an all new cover for it, for something
yeah,
that's like super like hyped up. And and maybe it'll drop in price, but maybe it'll shoot up. Like to me, that was worth it, or the investment's worth it
yeah. I
because
definitely
it's
agree with that because I think once the popularity of the show will grow, the demand for the comic book issues is just gonna go higher. Especially with the original issues, they're all like super high up in value right now, and just trying to find the just a issue number one for Invincible and seeing the local comic book shop day and the reprint to promote the show is a lot easier to find right now as opposed to any of the other ones. So
yeah,
it's I think it's definitely going to go up in value. I mean, it's that's why I bought like a few issues because I knew that was going to happen. So
yeah,
like I should have bought more honestly, but I'm still a beginner into investing in comics, so I'm not sure which ones are going to go up, or am I just wasting money or whatever on it. But luckily that was a good gamble on that one. um
yeah. But that's part of investing. Oh, and you know what? I'm actually gonna get back into this a little bit. Um,
mhm,
about people who buy things and have no investment in the medium or whatever it is in general.
mhm.
This kind of thing, how it drives me crazy. Again, working at GameStop, we'd get all these people who would like buy like pops, buy like limited edition consoles that ended up being overproduced, and they'd come back like way after like return policy dates with like 30 of something trying to return it and get
Oh
mad
wow.
when we don't. They're just like, well, they aren't worth anything and I couldn't sell them. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't care that you couldn't sell them. Like, investing for profit, it's a gamble. Like, you are going to take losses.
Yeah,
And that's actually something that I'm okay with. Like, anything I invest money in, like, I know I'm going to take a loss. Like, otherwise, I wouldn't be stupid enough to, do it and then just wonder, like, oh, like, I wasted money. Like,
yeah,
no, and like, speculating and investing comes with losses. And, they can't all be wins, you know.
yeah,
So that's another thing that drives me crazy about those. But back to the positive side of this. Yeah,
yeah.
so like you were saying, like you never know. Like sometimes you're just like, damn, I wasted money. Like oh, there was something I bought recently. It was a Venom cover. I think I paid 35 for it and it's going for like 15 now.
Oh, that was I
It's a
think
King in Black
the 1 out of 50 incentive variant, I think.
for King in Black, right? Number
Yeah,
one.
the one where he's holding him up like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing I paid 35 and I've seen it go for like 15.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I think when I was seeing it, I was seeing it for 35, 40, even $50 in comic shops, and then I'm like, I'm not paying that price. Like,
Yeah.
so uh, I resorted to eBay for that because I knew it wasn't because the market was oversaturated because of the hype, and I knew that.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I resorted to eBay and I actually found it for about $15 online
Oh really?
back then when it first released. Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah,
See, I
but it
wish I
was
waited.
it was very few people that were selling it for that price, and if they did, it just flew off the shelf. And even the 40-50 dollar ones were selling as well in the stores. So it did it for its job, for the hype and stuff. But for the long run, I think as of right now, because the hype has died down for it, it's probably not going to hold. But maybe in the future, I think it might go back up.
I hope so, because I mean, like I took a pretty fat loss on that. Like it dropped less than half of what I paid for it, but
Yeah,
it's still like such a cool cover. And like in the end, I don't regret it.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's
it
honestly like one of my
it
favorite
sucks.
covers.
Oh yeah, like it sucks losing money on anything that you invest in, but it happens. And that kind of just goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like it's a gamble. Like you never
Yeah,
know. Like I bought a you know what? I might actually be able to grab it right now.
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
let's see.
basically, that's when speculating actually helps you out when it comes to investing, because without speculation and you're just gambling on something that you have no knowledge in or research,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
you have a higher chance of taking losses when it comes to investing in comics.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find this real quick. This is something like I bought just because I had no idea what it was until after I had paid for it or like bought it, like read it and stuff. It should be somewhere in here. Okay, here you go. Because it reminded me of I'm a huge Burn Notice fan. I don't know if you ever watched it,
No,
but are you familiar with what it was?
no, not at all.
It's
A TV show or something?
yeah, it's a TV show that was like really cheesy. It had Bruce Campbell in it because I love Bruce Campbell,
Yeah.
and he was in it. So I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. And they ended up making a what's it called? A movie called The Fall of Sam Axe, and it's his story about how he ended up where he was because he was a Navy SEAL, and like that's his whole thing in the show is he's a Navy SEAL or
Yeah.
ex Navy SEAL, and he's still like he's helping like Mike run the character's name is Michael or Mike. He helps him like do jobs and like get all this stuff because all of his connections, and his skill. And so they did like a sort of like a prequel movie for his story alone. And he meets this girl while he's in South America, and she's the head of a like a militia sort of. And she was a really cool character. I really enjoyed it. And I saw this, and the cover looks like her. It has
Okay.
nothing to do with it, but I was just like, oh, that
Uh,
looks like her name was Beatrice. I was like, oh, that looks like Beatrice from the Burn Notice movie.
yeah.
And so I grabbed it like just cuz like literally just because of that. And then it turned out I want to say the writer had originally done the America Chavez Marvel character. He had created her, and there's some falling out or some legal thing where he can't use the character. So he did this one shot, kind of as just like a throwback to his previous work that he had done.
Yeah.
And it ended up going up. Like I paid $3.99 for it. I think I want to say that was cover price,
Yeah.
and it ended up going up to like $25. I don't know what it's at right now,
Oh wow.
but that was like an accidental investment.
Yeah.
Like I bought it because I was like, oh, it looks like a character from a movie that I loved. Let's see what this is about, and it kind of worked in my favor from that aspect.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Like, I'd really urge people who buy like random comics. If you don't see those comics on the shelf like a few days like later, like chances are like they sold out. They sold really fast. Like, look up the value of them. Just because you have no idea sometimes if you're sitting on something that's worth money. And that's proof of it that I could have turned around and sold that thing. Last I checked was like 2 or 3 months ago,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even a year old at that point. I don't even know if it's a year old now. I grabbed it one day because it was sitting there, and I was just like, oh, looks interesting. And
Yeah.
now I have something worth a little bit of money on my hands. Not hundreds, obviously, not like grabbing a Department of Truth #1 just because, or something is killing the children #1.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like maybe this will shoot up. Maybe something about like the writer will do something big. people will be like, hey, remember that one shot that he did, or you know that like they only made like 1,000 of, or 10, like 5,000 of, and it shoots up in
Yeah.
value even more.
Yeah, honestly, anything that they anything any publishers that do printings of certain issues that are very limited, or if it has a controversial backstory to it or anything like that, it's going to attract attention and will get fans to buy these comics just because of that, because it's basically a part of history.
Exactly.
So that's definitely part of the reason why that probably went up. I have something like that, or kind of like the similar story that where a comic book went up, or maybe it was already up in value, that I picked up just recently too, and that is the Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, and just the name of it and the cover for it just reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons, which is really great. And I'm a big fan of Saturday morning cartoons growing up, so that definitely hit me in the sweet spot. So I went ahead and picked it up, and sure enough, they only had one issue of it. I don't know if if it was a brand new issue that just came out, or if it's just been sitting on the shelf and no one decided to pick it up. So this one's not going but for too much, but it goes for anywhere between $10 to $15 right now. So I think it's gonna be a limited print, as since I didn't see any other copies at the shop. So I might that's something that might definitely go up in value, because you're gonna find like a very niche group of fans trying to collect that as well. All throughout the collectibles or the comic book collectors and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
anything that's low print, or that uh, you think that's not really that popular, definitely grab it if it's something that you'll like.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if it's something that you really like, and there's probably going to be other people that are going to be thinking the same way and that are going to be looking for it as well.
Yeah. So I actually just looked it up, and the value for this is tanked again. So it's back down to like just slightly above cover price. And I think I know why it did spike, because the America Chavez from Marvel had just come out, I think, a few months ago, and possibly the speculation of its popularity shot up.
Yeah.
So maybe because people were anticipating this, and if it sold well and it did well, that would make this worth money. And then because it didn't do well, this probably tanked with it. That's my speculation as to why this dropped in value. But
Yeah.
again, when it was up 20 something dollars, I could have sold that thing and made,
Yeah.
like a 400% profit off of it.
Yeah, because
But
honestly, the comic book, or a lot of the modern comic books right now, your best bet is to find that window of opportunity to flip the whatever comic book that you have, as opposed to long term. I think there's very few comic books that I really believe in that's gonna be really well invested for long term.
oh
So
yeah.
we've never seen modern comic books hit like a lot of high, ever.
Oh yeah.
So compared to like back then, people bought a ton of comic books, to invest in as well. But they didn't know that the market was oversaturated with them, so they you could still find them for like $5-10 or even cover price.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess going into the next topic is I want to go over creators. So depending on the creator of a specific comic book, will definitely determine the overall value of the comic book. Because if it's a really popular creative team, or a hot creative team, people are going to jump on it right off the bat. For example, like Donny Cates and Stegman, or Tanyan, or even Robert Kirkman as well, putting out comics. Like everyone's going to be jumping on those, and trying to invest in it and flip it already. So if you miss out on it, then that's the gamble basically on speculation. And a couple of the books that I did speculate on in regards to creative teams. Um, the first one, I was kind of late on this, but this one is Ice Cream Man. Um, yeah, this is kind of like a homage cover to the Dr. Seuss books, which is really cool. But yeah, before it used to be cover price everywhere for all the Ice Cream Man comic books, and then all of a sudden it just started getting really popular, and you couldn't find number one anywhere, or maybe like the first issue up until like maybe issue 10 are really hard to find, and that was just last year. So going up to now, I can't even find a single Ice Cream Man comic book besides like the newer issues, and even the newer issues only stay on the shelf for like maybe a couple weeks and then they're gone.
If even that
So
long.
yeah.
Did you ever? Sorry to cut you off. Did you ever find the
Mhm.
number one?
For Ice Cream Man?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think I found like a image first back where in Fullerton, which is a reprint,
Yeah.
and I decided to pass on it because I'm like, no, I want the original one, but I probably should have grabbed that one too.
Was it
Because
$1?
yeah, it was
Or
a
was it
dollar.
like, okay, so they didn't do like that some places will mark them up like those True Believers you found for
Oh
$25?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, that really irritates me.
yeah. Because I think when they first released it, they released it for its actual price, and then after it's been a while and it's sought after, it starts
Yeah.
going up in value. They could reprice it for the
Hmm.
the crazy amounts for
Yeah.
whatever it's going for online.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one creator that that I'm definitely investing heavily in, and that is James Tynion. This guy was my comic book writer of the year last year, and he's just been on fire when it comes to his comic books getting put out. And just to show you a few, we have the Department of Truth number one. This one just recently got optioned for a TV series. So once the TV series comes out, and if it does really well, then this is probably going to go way higher. Bought
Oh
this for
yeah.
cover price. Currently going for about $30 to $50 right now already. Luckily, I picked up a few copies. Another one that has recently just started going up, and I was very surprised because I'm like, oh, like maybe this is one comic that didn't really do so well, but I always saw it sell off on the shelves, but I didn't see it go up in value so fast. So and that is Wind.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is currently going for I think 20 to 30 bucks now. um so it just started becoming sought after for some reason, so I don't know what's um affecting the market for that in regards to speculation,
Check this out real quick.
but the
I'm sorry.
main one, what's up?
I just want to show this.
Oh sweet, yeah.
These are all the Peach Momoko covers. These might be out of order. No, they're in order. These aren't mine,
Mhm,
by the way. These belong to Shelby. I'm not trying to take credit
yeah.
for.
Yeah, those are
But
really
yeah,
cool covers. I'm actually kind of jealous. I wish I
yeah.
had those.
She got this collection for a really good deal too. It was
What was it,
80
like
bucks.
six? Oh, okay, cool.
And I think each one of them was going for about 25 to 30 for
Yeah,
the one with the logo, and then there's the
yeah,
virgin variants that sell for a little more, but each were
right.
going for about 25 to 30, and she got all five for 80. So she saved about what 30-40 bucks.
Yeah, that's really good. And
Mm.
I think they're going for a lot more now. Like maybe one of the books already goes for like 30 to 40 bucks instead
Yeah.
of the 25. So
Yeah, not bad. So I mean,
yeah,
that's a good investment on her end. If you want to talk
yeah,
about investing. Yeah.
yeah, because it's already like kind of like a limited series in a sense,
Yeah.
and it's the covers are done by a awesome artist. So
Yep.
and then the last one from him is Something is Killing the Children. This is the definitely one of the hottest books in modern comics that
Oh
has
yeah.
just been on fire. Like, and it's not even optioned for a TV show yet. And I feel like every single issue is just going up in value. Like
Yeah.
even like the newer ones, like slowly but surely. Like I remember getting some of the issue 8, 9, and 10, and I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe it's just the first 10 issues or the first 5 or 6 issues that were just low print runs, and that's why they're going up in value. But the more the popularity is going, the higher the better chance of all these issues is going up in value. I think 8, 9, and 10 is going for anywhere between $10 to $20 already.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
So
ridiculous.
yeah, so I've been stocking up on Something Is Killing the Children. Honestly, if you guys want to invest into modern comic books, that's probably the my best recommendation into getting into it. And just to show off a couple other ones real quick. Um,
Well, are you still on Tinian, or are you
oh
jumping
yeah,
to something else?
creators and stuff.
Well,
Uh,
Tinian specifically.
yeah, that's pretty much it for Tinian.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna show one more thing,
Yeah, sure.
because it's sort of Tinian related.
Hmm.
So he's been doing the new Batman, or the current Batman run. He took it over from King, and was it King?
Yeah, Tom
Yes.
King.
Yeah, he took it over at issue 84,
85.
85, something like that. So
Yeah, he did.
uh
Tinian jumped on 86.
okay. I knew it
Yeah.
was somewhere right around there. So he did a he introduced a new character, that being Punchline,
Hmm.
and she's been a pretty big hit with everybody. And one thing that I grabbed, that honestly I didn't know it was going to spike this high and actually maintain this price, but it was a Comic-Con variant of Batman 92, the foil cover with Punchline, from Art Germ.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought this after shipping everything. It cost me $15. It's going on average for $100.
Wow.
Yeah, just because like she's been a successful character,
Hmm.
and like people love her. She's awesome. Like her own story was pretty good. She's been tied into the new Joker series and the
Yeah.
Batman run. I think the Joker, to be honest with you, is supposed to be the Punchline series, but they can't. I don't think they can do Punchline as a series because there's another comic unrelated to DC, called Punchline. So I
Oh,
think they
gotcha.
were able to get away with it legally somehow as like a one shot, but they can't do an ongoing series. So
Yeah.
I think, and I want to say Tinian's doing that Joker run too.
Oh,
And
sweet.
so yeah, I could be wrong, but I think he's the one doing it. So anyway, yeah, I bought that one. It was the San Diego Comic Con one. They did it last year, so there was no Comic Con, so it was all sold
Hmm.
online. And I bought that in number, was it 90? I think it was Batman 90 or something like that. That
Yeah.
thing's only gone up like maybe $10 from what I paid for it. But yeah, no,
Oh,
not a
that's
bad
great.
investment. Yeah, I mean anything, any value that it goes up is, better for you, even if it's a
Yeah.
dollar. Like that's a dollar more than you paid for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just couldn't believe, like I had a feeling it would have gone up a little bit, but not to $100. I was thinking it would sit at like maybe 50, $60, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like
And
San Diego Comic Con exclusives are just, you could expect it to go anywhere between 20 to 100% of increase.
oh yeah, and actually, let me grab this one more thing related to that I absolutely love. I should be able to grab it. It should be right here. Yes, it's this cover. Um, I slept on this cover. I kept seeing it at that place in Fullerton. This
Yeah.
is the same issue, but it's another cover or another
Uh-huh.
variant, and I kept
Is
sitting
that
on
an
it.
artist variant or?
Honestly, I'm not even sure who did this one, but there's like a whole set of covers that look like. Oh, actually, so yes, it is. I don't know why I even had to think about that.
Mhm.
Every issue, for a certain set of issues, like I think it was through the Joker War, um, had a cover with a different character on it like that.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
so I missed that, and I kept seeing it for $50, and then that was
Yeah.
shooting up to 100. Or yeah, I saw it for 50, and then I finally got it recently for 60. So I actually got it for a lot less than it's been going for. So that's another investment piece that I'm looking forward to, like something that I'm going to hold on to for as long as I can, and
Yeah.
maybe someday part with it
Yeah,
if it keeps going up and the right amount is offered for it.
yeah,
But anyway,
very
sorry, go
nice.
on. Yeah.
Very good. Another series that I wanted to bring up as well is Once and Future, issue one. This is another comic book series that I definitely believe in, that will go up in value later. Um, not as crazy as Something Is Killing the Children currently, but I could see the series possibly getting adapted to a TV show or TV series or something. But
Oh, I would love
regardless,
to.
yeah. But regardless, even if it doesn't, I honestly enjoy the story enough to collect a few sets, because I know there's people out there that that enjoys it just as much as I do. So
I would actually be okay if that ended up as an animated series.
yeah, yeah.
The
Honestly, some of the illustrations just would look better as an
Yeah.
animated series versus live action.
Well, like, cause some of this stuff, like granted, it is like art, like you know what I mean, like a drawing, but this looks like it could be like it could be transitioned to animated. Uh, you get what I'm saying, right? Like it's
Yeah,
something that like looks like it should be animated, I guess, or it could easily
yeah,
come to life in an animated form. Where, something like the Department of Truth, although it's drawn, it looks like something that would be adapted to actual like live action film. You
yeah.
know, uh, so I would actually, honestly, personally, I'd prefer a animated version for Once and Future.
Yeah, that's why I
I
was
think,
really glad that Invincible went through the animated route versus any other format.
yeah,
So,
that's another one. I
mhm,
At first I was like, oh, like they're doing it animated, like that kind of
mhm.
sucks. But then, like, the more I started reading it, I was just like, you know what, like they couldn't have done justice to this live action, like not at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Like this needed to be animated.
yeah.
So
Let's
go.
see. Um, Another one. This one's kind of off topic slightly, but uh, I don't even know what to categorize this as, but it's basically like a one shot and kind of like a social experiment when it comes to releasing a comic book. And this was just I don't know, like a marketing strategy for sure, but it worked. So and that is Solid Blood,
Yeah.
issue 17. And they were basically marketing this as like a comic book that Robert Kirkman and Ryan Otley, the creators of Invincible, worked on, and saying that, like, they had stacks of these, or crates of these, stuck in a warehouse, and they just found it, and they totally forgot about it, and now they're gonna put it in the market. And you were basically able to get one for sure if you had firepower. Um, what do you call it, on your pull list.
Yeah.
And besides that, it was pretty sought after, because they were speculating that, like, no one, like, people were researching about this, and getting the hype, and people were talking about it so much. They're like, they've never seen this series released anywhere else. This is the only comic book. And for them to market this as a issue 17, like in the middle of, I don't know, like some kind of series, and it actually worked. A bunch of people, like, speculated and invested in this book, and I haven't seen the price recently, but last time I was checking, months ago, it was going for anywhere between $20 to $30. So
Oh, nice.
luckily I was able to get one, the
I
cover
got one
price.
too.
So yeah, that's
Cover price for me.
this is just one thing that that I kind of believed in, that will go up in value
Yeah.
because of that.
I think part of it is like the mystery behind it, and I feel like
Yeah,
as long as the two of them never come out and outright say, like, or give specifics of why they released it and why they did, it'll
yeah,
always have that mystery, and it could be like the like something that's kind of like stories made up about it, it can
yeah,
end up being like one of those things, like, oh, do you remember Solid Blood 17? And people are like, oh yeah, like, you know, I have all of them. Like I have everything up to 17. You know, and obviously
Yeah,
it's all going to be lies, but
yeah,
I feel like in the future it could be one of those things that just, you know, it gets talked about, and because nobody knows the truth and nobody will ever know. That's
yeah,
that's kind of what I hope happens with it, even if it doesn't spike in price. You know,
yeah.
it just kind of maintains that. It's just kind of cool that we were around for it.
Yeah, I thought it was
But
a really cool marketing strategy just to get people talking about it and,
yeah,
buying into it.
yeah, I bought it
So,
and I got it
yeah,
for cover price, and kind of dumb. I saw multiple copies after I got mine, and
yeah,
I didn't buy them, and I kind of feel like I should have. But
yeah,
you know, I wanted to leave them for somebody else. You know, I didn't want to be that guy who just buys up everything. So my fault. Um, are you done, or because I was going to show something else, but I don't want to interrupt
Oh, yeah, go
you.
for it.
Okay, so I don't think any of these have skyrocketed in price. I've bought all of them for cover price except for two. I only paid like $2 or $3 more for them, and I don't know if they're going to be worth money because the first time they tried this, most of the issues you find, and I wouldn't say in the dollar bin, but they're not much more or their cover price. And it's
Yeah.
the Star Wars 40th anniversary for Empire Strikes Back. There's
Hmm.
36 of them. It spans across bounty hunters, Darth Vader, and just Star Wars. And every issue gets a one of those covers, except one. I forgot which one it is, but it's like issue 8 of one of the series. Like for some reason, didn't get a 40th anniversary cover, and they each follow a scene from the start of the movie to the end of the movie, which I never realized because I was always buying them, you know, like a week to 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks apart. I
Yeah.
never noticed that if you look at all of the
The
what's it
covers.
like all the covers from
Yeah.
number 1 to number 36, they're in chronological order of the movie, and it's all like major or like iconic points of the movie, which
And
is
it's only
really cool.
episode 4 through 6 that they're like scenes from, right?
Only episode 5. It's
Oh,
all
okay.
Empire Strikes Back,
Oh,
which
that's
part
cool.
of the reason I chose to do this, it's my
Yeah.
favorite of all the Star Wars movies. And so, excuse me, I feel like it's one of those things that maybe in the future, collectively, like if you have all of it, it could have some value to it. Because Star
Oh,
Wars
yeah.
fans are fanatical, like they're nuts sometimes when it comes to things that if
Yeah.
you have a complete, like pristine collection of anything Star Wars related, you know,
Yeah.
that's like out of print, people will pay money for it.
Oh, for sure.
And they even did a like these two special issues, or I'm sorry, it was one issue, but two covers that I know of. It was a collection of just art in it from, and it's all from Chris Sprouse, I believe, who's the artist. He did all of these, like all the covers, and it's a collection of all his work. And I have both covers of that too. So I have all of the issues except for 24 and 35. I don't know why those weren't added to my pool or
Hmm.
on, like, but every other one has been on my pool. For some reason, I miss those, and
Hmm.
because they don't always come out the same week, I didn't realize, you know, that I missed 24, you know, and it because it jumped series, it's hard to keep track of. Because
Right.
like, you know, this week it'll be on Bounty Hunters, next week it'll be Star Wars, the week after it's Darth Vader, or like 3 weeks pass and then it's Darth Vader. So I didn't realize that I was missing them until I was like flipping through,
Yeah.
and uh I was looking and I was like, wait, like why did I go from 23 to 25?
Uh,
Like what the
have
hell
you looked
happened?
up how much that's going for?
No, I haven't bothered. I'm gonna just
Mm.
eventually crack and buy it. And then I realized I was missing 35. So I bought 34 recently on my pool, and then
Mhm.
36 wasn't on my pool. So I actually had to pay $6 for this one. Not that it's a huge deal, but
Yeah.
I had to buy it from somebody else for $6. And I'm just like, the hell, at least it's over. Like that's the
Yeah.
last one. I don't ever have to worry about this again or another one of these
Nice.
covers. And that
Yeah.
takes all of those off my pool. So no more
No more Star Wars.
well, no more just like random like Star Wars issues because I'm
Oh,
not going to
okay.
continue the series. I just wanted the 40th anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice
And
set to invest in for sure.
yeah, exactly. And I'm sure eventually one or two of them will probably shoot up in value, which will make a complete set worth even more.
Yeah.
So that was
Sweet.
something that I've chose to invest in, and I got
Yeah.
on it early enough that, like
Mhm.
I said, I've only paid I think max $8
Oh,
for
very
a
cool.
different. Yeah, for it was like number like 13 or something I missed.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah, I shouldn't say I got them all for cover price. I'd say out of the 36 of them or 34 that I have, I got 33 of them, or I'm sorry, 31 of them for cover price.
Nice.
Yeah, so $6 for that and 8 for two other ones. Yeah, that's what it was because I got them from the place in Fullerton I go to,
Mhm.
and because I was missing them and they just happened to have them, and I don't know why they marked them up to like $8, but it was they had the two that I needed, so I just grabbed them.
Yeah.
So that's
Are you
something
talking
that I'm
about
looking.
the comic book hideout? Is
Yeah,
that the place? Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
So
Remember that place. That's where I first started collecting single issues, and I honestly I really like their store because they have a lot of like rare issues that's available. I just don't like the fact that they mark up the price sometimes, like pretty much like eBay prices. I'm like, if you're gonna mark it up like eBay prices, I might as well just buy it on eBay.
yeah,
But
but at
that's just
least
me.
there you can actually see the, like really see the condition of it. Like they're not hiding anything. Like, sometimes you buy things on eBay and it'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
pristine condition, you get it, and it's like, you know, like some like spine ticks or a little like
Right.
crease somewhere, a little like
Yeah.
cut on like the top of the cover. Like at least there, like you could look at it, like you could see what you're buying,
Yeah.
before, and
I
it's
think
a
it's I'll go ahead.
oh, it's just saying like it's a true representation of it, and you get it that day.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but it's just sometimes they don't. I don't think they update their prices from the eBay prices. So once it
Yeah,
gets that high, like I don't think they adjust it. From my experience, anyway.
yeah,
But yeah, but it's really cool that they have a lot of rare issues there or rare
yeah.
sets and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Um, I guess for my next one, another one that I definitely liked investing in are the Berserker comic books. When I heard Keanu Reeves working on a comic book and Matt Kent, I was all up for it. They even had a Kickstarter for this series, and yeah, it's just been a really hot series coming out. They've done multiple printings. I think the most recent printing they've had is the fourth print. So that's another thing that people can invest in as well. And I also got the third print, which is really
Nice.
rare as well.
Yeah.
Paid cover price for this, thankfully. It's a really cool cover too. I don't know if I want to get rid of it, but for investment purposes, definitely something really cool to get into because I mean the hype is there currently. I know they're gonna eventually make either a movie or a TV series out of it. So yeah, if there's like an actor that's behind a comic book that's really popular, that's probably going to be one that's really good to invest in as well, if you like the actor. And in regards to reprints, another one that I wanted to show off is Something Is Killing the Children, issue 8. This is another one that I feel that will go up in value eventually as well. I mean, the market's pretty flooded with these right now, but in the future, I think it's one issue that's going to be sought after.
Oh yeah, it's such a cool cover, and I mentioned this before on our podcast, and I don't think you agree with me. But this is my speculation was
Uh huh.
them doing the title in single letters that way,
In
like the
abbreviations.
yeah, the way Berserker is,
Yeah.
because the way you got it was through Berserker, and
Yeah.
it's the only time a something is killing the children has been done that way. And I just thought that was kind of
Yeah.
neat that they changed it up for this cover, so it
Yeah.
actually had. And whether I'm right or not, fact
Mhm.
is, it's they did something with the title that actually makes it stand above the other reprints.
Oh
Like it
yeah,
looks
I
different.
actually agree with that.
That it looks because it looks different, like it kind of stands above them in its own way.
Yeah, it definitely feels like just a very unique print out of all the other ones, because all the other ones has their their title like all over the page, which in this case it does have it in the corner right here, but it's not covering like the artwork.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
also set in the back,
yeah.
versus just being like the forefront. Erica's the
Hmm.
like the main. That's her name, right? Erica Slaughter.
Yeah, Erica
Yeah,
Slaughter, which
yeah,
is really
she's the
cool
main
because
focus.
um it even has the monster like reflection right on
Yeah,
the chainsaw. I thought that was
that's
really
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but
that
that's pretty much in regards to reprints for investing.
well, I got one reprint that I'm going to show.
Sweet.
This will probably honestly never be worth any more than I paid for it. Well, I shouldn't say ever, but
Hmm.
because it still is, it's not like a golden age or anything, but only time will really tell. But
Hmm.
because there's so many like printings of this, and
Yeah.
a lot of the print runs are high, and they all have a unique look to them. This is something I wanted to grab for myself because it's something I owned a while back and I loved. And it's one of the many things that I lost, a couple like in 2015. And it's the Killing Joke. This is the third print. I paid $13 for it last year. So that just shows that, even after all these years, like it's still not shooting up in price too much.
Yeah.
But it's more than a cover price. But again, it's a third print. Who knows, in 30, 40 years if this thing, will go up in value. I doubt it, but
You
it's a
never know.
reprint. Yeah, again, it's a reprint and they all have like different like print counts, on that run.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I was gonna buy it regardless.
Nice.
And one thing I would love to buy is an original printing of it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm honestly not even sure what that's going for, but there's I think like 14 prints of that or something, which
Wow.
used to seem crazy, but now with like that something is killing the children being like a year old,
Yeah.
knowing that they're already on like the eighth print,
Yeah.
it's
It's insane.
like 14 doesn't seem so high anymore.
Yeah, and I feel like each issue seems to have like reprints going on,
Yeah.
at least going on a second print for each issue.
Yeah, I think something is killing the children is the one modern comic. Well, I shouldn't even just say modern comic, but in the last like year to 2 years that has had like anything close to that many printings. I don't think I've
Yeah.
seen anything come even close to that high.
Yeah.
And that's like including like the Strange Academy and like the Thors that and the Venoms that were
Hmm.
hitting like fourth and fifth print.
Right. Right.
You know, they like an eighth print. You know,
Yeah.
like eighth. Like why do we need 8 printings of this thing? But
Yeah. Yeah. Because we can't
all
have
of
enough.
I know, right? Because we need all of them.
Yeah. I think there's one that I'm going to show that's kind of a close contender. Not like more than half, but I feel like it might get up there, and that is the Last Ronin issue one. I think this series
I
has
had
been oh,
I had these
perfect.
out.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
and not even like reprints, but like the number of prints for like this is just
Hmm.
issue one.
Yeah, there's
I
like
got a 1 in 10 variant, 1 in 25 incentive. I have another artist variant, and I think three other reprints of the first issue, which is insane.
but that's only hit like 4 or 5, right?
For the first print.
Yeah,
I
for the
mean, for the
first
first
issue.
issue.
Yeah.
No, I think they've only got up to the third reprint, and then one director's cut. So like 4 reprints.
Yeah. So 4 or 5. That was close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said 5. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, I said 4 or 5. But yeah, either way, I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
still like really high for something that's only been out since October.
yeah. It's
Like
insane.
that's
Yeah,
what month are we in? 6. That's 8 months. 8 months and 4 printings.
Yeah.
But that first print was sold out that morning. I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna say that day, like
Mhm.
that morning.
That
If you
morning,
weren't in
yeah.
there in the first like hour to 2 hours and you didn't have it
Yeah.
on your pull, you didn't
Mhm.
get one.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually
Thankfully,
had it. I had it on my pull already, but I wasn't completely sure. If it was my first time having a uh comic book on a pull list. Like that was my first time like knowing what a pull list was, I guess.
yeah,
But I was there early enough to get a copy, and there was one on my pull list, so now I had two. And I remember one customer was like kind of bummed out that like he didn't have one, or he
yeah,
wasn't there to get it in time, even though he was there like maybe a minute after me and a few other customers walked in.
yeah.
And so I made the decision of giving him the extra copy that I found on the shelf so he could
Nice.
experience that.
I have two.
And
I got
selfish.
lucky. Yeah, I know, right? You know, if I was in that situation you were in, I would have given it up.
Yeah.
Without any hesitation, I would have been like, yeah, when Legends
Yeah.
of the Dark Knight came out, I had 3 copies of it. Granted, I traded you for one, but I gave one to a friend. Like,
Yeah.
he kept trying to ask me like how much you want for it, how much you want for it, and I was like, dude, like I'm not gonna charge you. Like it cost me like $5 or $6. Like,
Nice.
just take it. Like I don't care what its value is. Like I didn't pay that
Yeah.
value for it.
And I remember seeing that cover also like in the when it first came out, and I thought it looked really cool too because the
Hmm.
green just made it pop out.
Yeah,
And I decided not to pick up any of it because I didn't know if it was something that I wanted to collect or not.
and it turned out it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
The
it's
the
such a good
actual comic
series.
book that like got me into it because of just the art alone.
Wait, let me
Of
guess. Speed Metal.
Yeah, Speed
Yeah.
Metal just had such an awesome cover, and it wasn't even out of print or high demand or anything.
Yeah. Wait, so you didn't get into it until Speed Metal?
Yeah,
That was like the fifth or sixth um uh spin-off, or not spin-off,
tie-in.
tie-in, yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez, I didn't realize it was that long. Because
yeah,
that was by issue 3, I think.
yeah. I think so.
Was there 7 issues?
I think so.
6
Yeah,
issues? Yeah. Damn, I didn't realize. So you got into about halfway through.
yeah.
I
And
don't
I
know
was
why I
able
thought.
to find everything still.
Yeah, I still am kicking myself for not buying the issue number 1 foil cover.
Do you
You
have
know
the
what the
rest of them
foil?
in foil or no?
No, no, but that's the
Uh,
one that I really want, and I kept
uh,
seeing it, and I just kept passing it up. But
yeah,
I don't know if it's worth anything, but I don't know. Maybe someday I'll grab it. I'll probably see it
yeah,
somewhere for $10, $20, and just say screw it. Real quick before we stray too far, um, well, Last Ronin number 2. I made sure I grabbed this because I was gonna read it no matter what, and I wanted to own it no matter what, but I made sure like I gotta get this because I saw how absolutely insane the first one was
mhm,
with how like fast it sold. And I was just like, I need to make sure I get my hands on these. And then
yeah,
same with issue number 3, which my opinion on this. We will have a whole other discussion uh when the series finishes because I have a
yeah,
lot to say about this issue. And
yeah. I mean, I do too.
I try to not
Yeah,
bring up negativity on this channel, but I feel like this might be one of the first times that I'm not gonna trash it. Don't get me wrong. I love the issue,
hmm
but this is the first time I'm gonna say something bad about the Last Ronin. But I will save that for when we do the whole like thing on like a read and review on the whole series once it's done.
yeah,
Like I said, I'm not bashing that issue. I still loved it, but
yeah, yeah. It's just
man, like,
yeah,
oh no, I'm gonna save it. I don't want to get into this, but no. So anyway, that was actually the 1 in 10 variant, which I really love this cover. I don't know. Did you grab
yeah.
this one too?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
every single variant. I just told him like, oh, give me all the copies.
nice,
Whatever you get, give me all the copies.
nice. Did you have to pay extra for the 1 in 10, or did you pay cover price?
Luckily that one was cover price.
Nice, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there a 1 in 25
Uh,
or a 1 in
if
50?
there was, the store didn't get it, so I didn't get that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea how many copies or I'm sorry, how many variants there were for this one. I just know I have the 1 in 10 for that one, and it's a
Uh,
really cool cover.
they definitely have some like artist and other like comic store exclusives, but in terms of incentive variants, I'm not sure how much
Oh, okay.
or what they go up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't do that many for number 2, right? It was mainly the first one that had a ton of them.
Yeah. Usually for any comic
Well,
book
yeah, any
series,
number one.
it's the first one that like has a ton of variants. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Like, look at the Eternals.
yeah, oh my god.
Do you remember how many covers there were for the
I don't know,
Eternals?
like 9 or 10 or something. Or was it more
No, I
than
think
that?
there were. I want to say there were close to 30.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I know, like I think Marvel definitely goes overboard when it comes to
Oh, oh
variants and
yeah.
stuff. They're
I'm
definitely
o-
on the
I'm okay if it hits like, double digits of variance if you
yeah.
take into consideration like an unknown comics one, like a Scorpion in Midtown. Like when you start adding like these store exclusive variants, I'm okay when that happens.
Yeah.
But when I say Eternals was up there and like something stupid, these were just like covers that every store can get. Like these weren't exclusives to like Midtown and all that and
Yeah.
Scorpion. Like these are things that any local store that around here, like I can walk into and grab these covers. And
Yeah.
I remember
Everyone pretty
Mike,
much ordered it.
yeah, like Mike had a full table of all the covers. And I remember just asking him, like, are you gonna be able to sell all these?
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous. And he's like, yeah, we'll eventually sell them. And I think they actually did. I think they finally
Oh,
like
that's insane.
took it down to
I
like a small amount, you know?
yeah, I feel like I feel like they did because people were probably speculating on, like when the Eternals movie comes out.
Yeah. I
That because that
only
would make sense.
I only bought one and it was the Scotty Young cover.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of regretting not buying a few other ones because it's written by Kieran Gillen.
Oh, I didn't know it was written by him.
Yeah. And so
Damn.
now that I know it's written by Kieran, I just grabbed it because I was like, oh, Scotty Young.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but now that I know he wrote it, I'm just like, oh man, like, because I don't want to take that one out. And it's probably never gonna be worth anything, but I'm like weird about that. Like, I don't like opening my variants,
Mhm.
for any reason. Like, I hate opening them. I buy main covers
Yeah,
mainly for reading copies, but certain main
yeah.
covers, I buy a second one if it's something that I think might be, rare or something that like, you know what I'm saying, like something specific about it that makes me
Right,
not want
right.
to open it. Like that last Ronin. As much as
Yeah,
I've been wanting to read it again, I don't want to take it out of the pack or the bag,
yeah. Get a
you
digital
know.
copy.
Yeah. Well, once we do the reading review, I'm gonna reread the entire thing, so I'm gonna have to open it.
Yeah,
But anyway, yeah. So my point, yeah, the Eternals was nuts when it came to that. Like, just I don't know why Marvel thought it was okay to just like, hey, let's release like 30 covers for this.
I think
Maybe
it's
they
because
were.
they probably announced it because they announced the movie as well. So they
Mhm.
probably had a very smart marketing strategy where they're like, "Oh, if we announce these few movies, we're definitely going to be able to sell, the comic books and stuff," which was a
True,
smart idea.
but at the same time, when the Black Widow series got rebooted, it was I think right when because they're in issue 8 or 9, I think right now.
Uh,
Uh, it was shortly after I think the original movie, the movie was originally supposed to come out. They had
yeah,
announced that they're doing a comic, and they didn't do any more than just a couple covers for that. And I think Black Widow being directly tied to the MCU, whereas the Eternals, like they are, but it's not like they've never been on screen,
yeah,
as the with the MCU. I feel like Black Widow would have been an easier sell,
yeah.
for
I
like
believe that too.
pushing 50 covers, and they didn't do it. At least not that
Yeah,
I noticed. I don't remember seeing, more than just a couple covers, and they didn't do anything with like Scarlet Witch, with WandaVision coming out. But they did this with the Eternals for some reason. And I'm not knocking the Eternals for any reason.
yeah.
I don't get it. And I love Kieran Gillen. You love
Yeah.
Kieran Gillen, but he's not like I'm trying to think of like a big writer right now. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Like a big Marvel writer, like a Donny Cates, or he's not someone who's like made this huge impact, on the Marvel
Hmm.
franchise. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really weird for them to pick the Eternals,
Yeah.
of
I
all
mean,
things to
honestly,
do.
I don't know what goes in their head when it comes to like making a certain number of like variants for certain titles.
Yeah,
Like it would make sense for like more popular names and titles, but I don't. Yeah, same thing. Like I don't know why they chose Eternals to make all these covers and stuff.
yeah.
Like it
Like
made sense
even
when they did King in Black because
yeah,
the hype was there.
but even then, I don't think King in Black has that many covers that were accessible. No, it was like 10 that
Mhm.
were accessible for everybody on day one. This
Yeah,
still Eternal still beats it out.
yeah,
Like just such a
yeah.
weird
That's
choice,
insane.
and there was something else, another comic I was just thinking that, oh, like Amazing Spider-Man, the number 49, I think it was.
The 850th.
Yeah, like even that didn't, like that hit like 14 or something, or 15 covers. And
Yeah,
that's Spider-Man, that's like Spider-Man with a mix of Bagley doing the art and Ryan Otley jumping into do the art.
yeah,
Like this is a
mhm,
huge series, and they didn't even push that with the Spider-Man.
yeah,
Like if there was anything like that, probably would have been the one to just go absolutely insane with the amount of covers. And although they did, not as much as the Eternals.
yeah. So in terms of that, how would you tie that into investing?
I don't know. I just kind of went on a
Oh, like would it be something that you would invest in? Like
Oh,
when
okay.
it comes
So
to just when variants come out for like a certain title or series or whatever, would you like go all in on all the variants, or like how would you pick and choose when it comes to investing on it?
personally, like with me, I tend to do it with things that I love. So obviously with King and Black, both you and I went nuts, and we
Yeah,
bought anything that said King and Black because love Venom, love Spider-Man, love all that stuff that's tied to. So I think it was kind of an obvious choice. But when it comes to
yeah,
something like the Eternals, um, and I'm not specifically saying the Eternals, but something like
hmm,
that, like something that I don't have a like a long-standing like love for, something like that. um I think I would just base it off of the individual artists who are doing, covers. Like if there's like an Alex Ross incentive or
hmm,
something, like, you know,
yeah,
someone like him, or like an art germ, and this applies to like both, say, like Marvel and DC.
yeah,
Like a Peach Momoko, like I would pick and choose like based off individual artists, even if
hmm,
they weren't incentive variants at that point too. Like if Peach Momoko did, like, for example, the Wiccan and Hulkling,
yeah.
it that King in Black, like it wasn't that good. Did you read it?
I think I passed on it.
It wasn't that good. Like
Yeah,
it was okay. Like it was better than some of the other ones. It was better than Namor, that's for sure. Um, but had to make that crack on Namor because we didn't do that the last couple issues. I bought the Peach Momoko variant because it
yeah.
was such like a nice cover. Probably one of the best
It actually did
covers.
look, yeah, really good.
Probably one of the best covers that came out through the whole King in Black run. And I'm talking all tie-ins, variants, all artists.
Yeah,
Uh, and I don't mean like from like just like a cool factor with like, the was it the Grendel dragon like holding up uh
yeah,
Eddie Brock, like that was just like a cool cover,
yeah,
and like the one Donny Cates drew that looked like an old like 80s thrash metal album cover.
yeah,
Like you could have put like Testament across the top, or
yeah.
like something like that, or like an old like
Wasn't that like a
punks,
one in 100 or one in 1,000 or something?
something stupid, yeah.
Yeah,
Like such a cool concept, like kind of an edgelord sort of like cover, you know.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be that over the top, but it kind of looks like if you were to put like an Anthrax logo or like Excel over it.
Yeah.
uh
Even a Iron Maiden album
exactly,
on it.
it very has like a very Eddie look to it.
Yeah.
um but anyway, where am I going with this? I totally just keep running on tangents. Oh, investing. So uh
Mhm.
taking all those covers into consideration and stuff, and oh, there you go, and not like a cool factor where
Yeah.
like, you know, like, oh, like this is just awesome, but taking in like actual like skill and style and a lot of like, I guess, I know a lot of this is subjective, but a lot of that stuff into account, because I mean, don't get me wrong, Donny Cates is a very skilled artist. He's a better writer, very skilled artist.
Yeah.
But Peach Momoko really made that cover have like an emotional feel to it, you
Yeah.
know, something that other artists did not do, whether it be their intent or not their intent.
Yeah.
She was the only one I think really kind of like brought out like an emotional feel in the cover, and just
Mhm.
the way it's like sectioned off with the different pieces, like with like the partial white border and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks really good, and it stands out above every other King in Black variant,
Yeah.
you know,
I agree
where
with
a
that.
lot of them used a lot of like kind of dark images, and I don't
Yeah.
necessarily mean like dark and creepy, but like also like dark tones.
Yeah.
um so hers stood out to me a lot, and I really love that. So with that being said, like, uh if it comes down to something like the Eternals happening again, where there's like 70 billion covers to choose from, I
Yeah.
wouldn't go nuts unless it's something that I'm already invested in, um, like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Uh, I would just go based off the artist for my investment purposes. That and a mix of incentives. But at the same time, I pass on incentives if I don't like them or I don't care for the artist. Like, we talked about this, that speed metal Peach Momoko.
Yeah.
Really don't like it. And even if I saw it for $10, I honestly don't know if I would buy it. Like, no
Yeah.
disrespect to her, you know, but I didn't care for the way she drew that cover. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I
that's
agree.
awesome series, you know, awesome artist, but those
Mhm.
two just didn't gel. So
Yeah.
yeah. What about you? If there was
Well,
another 30 cover,
yeah, in terms of that, I've definitely learned my lesson when it comes to variant covers. I know
wait,
there's a handful of people. What's up?
let me guess. Are you going to mention Commanders in Crisis?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I completely forgot about that, but yeah, I'll mention that.
Okay,
But
just because I know you've mentioned this actually on our podcast recently,
yeah,
a few weeks back, but I think it kind of fits this. So
yeah, it
if
does.
you don't mind, bring this up because I think it's actually a really important point.
It is actually because when the Commanders in Crisis came out from Image Comics, I don't know what I was doing. I knew I wanted to invest into it, and that's why I was really hesitant into buying single issues because I knew I was going to do something like this. Because I did it with omnibus and collected edition formats, and yeah, I jumped the gun, and it was the first issue, brand new series from Image. So I thought, like, oh, I don't want to miss out on a brand new series that's pumping out like all these different variants that might go up in value at all. And sure enough, I don't, I haven't really checked on it because I don't completely believe in the series, unfortunately. But I'm still interested in to read the story and see how it unfolds as a complete series. But yeah, the first issue I think maybe had like 8 different variants, and it's cool having choices to choose from when it comes to variant copies, but it I feel like it kind of takes away the originality and like what the original or what the main theme is supposed to try to pull out or whatever. And I know there's a handful of collectors out there that are like totally against variant copies or variant issues. I'm kind of all for it, honestly, because it gives people an option to choose from like the covers that they like. but you know, like no one's telling you to go out there and buy all the different variants just to speculate and invest on. That's definitely not the way to go. um but you know, like that's one mistake that I've learned when it comes to investing. Even the King in Black covers, honestly, because some of the King in Black covers are just horrendous and I don't like it, and I bought everything. So
Yeah, particularly the Namor covers. I own every single one of them.
yeah.
Thankfully, I think they stopped doing variants after number 3. So 4
Yeah.
and 5, it's just a single issue. But yeah, I bought the couple variants. There's only like 2 or 3, I think, for each, but like I own them all,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. But
And it's just taking up space, right?
yeah. Oh, you know what? I kind of did the same with Empire too, because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, new event. Started grabbing them all. But I work a lot. Actually, no, I wasn't working at the time. So I don't know why. Like, I think I was just buying so much. I was
Yeah.
getting behind on reading, and those were taking a back seat. So I had
Yeah.
collected not a ton of them, but like a decent amount.
Yeah.
And then I finally started reading it, and I was just like, ouch. Like, should- shouldn't have spent that money on these. I
Yeah.
really actually liked the Fantastic Four #0 for it though.
Yeah.
Not like I really like that as in like telling everybody go buy it. It's just like great issue. It's not like this amazing issue, but it was a fun read. I liked it.
Yeah.
Um, but overall, like Empire was kind of a disaster, and
Yeah.
so
Luckily I
I
skipped out on that.
yeah, you're lucky you skipped out on that. So I kind of dodged a bullet with that because I started to kind of like what you did
Yeah.
with Commanders of Crisis, where like you
Yeah.
started to, but you read enough and caught up to
Hmm.
know that it's not something you want to continue investing in, and then Empire just
Yeah.
like went downhill like really fast. And
Yeah.
I honestly like I think they canceled it. I don't think it finished. I think they rushed an ending to it, and then
Yeah.
the remaining what's it called, the remaining, I'm a jungle blank on the
Like
word.
story arcs.
No, tie-ins. The
Yeah.
remaining tie-ins, they relabeled him as King in Black, and they
Oh wow.
suckered me into
Oh
buying
yeah,
some.
right. Yeah.
Marvel still got my money. They just put the King in
Yeah.
Black logo on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
okay,
that
sorry.
totally got me too.
That I wanted you to bring up the Commander's Crisis because I don't want to forget, because
Mhm.
that's a very important part about speculating, and kind of what I brought back with or bringing back with taking losses. You're going to take
Yeah.
losses. You're going to make mistakes. But
Yeah.
the question I answered, and I want you to answer it. If there was something else, the way the Eternals was done, what would you
Hmm.
do from an investing standpoint? Would you just ignore it because you don't have like a standing like appreciation for this, or something you
Hmm.
followed? Just another big thing that Marvel decides to pull from the past,
Right, right.
and they're going to announce a movie with it. Like, let me
Yeah.
think of something. Like, I'm trying to think of like an old like series, like an old like
Like an old movie or like or
no,
old
like an old like comic that has like not been like revived.
I don't know, like from Marvel
Or anybody
or like
really, I
any
guess.
comic book.
Kind of
I
like
don't
how
know,
the
like
Eternals hadn't been touched in a while, and like
right,
next
right.
thing you know, it's just like boom, like Eternals reboot, Eternals movie,
Yeah,
30 covers.
right.
Like, I
Uh
don't even have to think of something. Let's just say they bring back an old franchise that you've had no investment in through your life, and they're just like, boom,
like
30
Blade.
covers. Yeah, but Bleed's awesome, so we already know, like, I'll buy anything Blade. So something else, like,
Something that's like
just something
not
like the
really
Eternals.
popular.
Yeah, that like hasn't really seen much popularity in years, or and they bring back and they're gonna try to like remarket and
I think one example of that, it's not Marvel related though, would be like Youngblood or Wildcats.
yeah. Okay, say they did that, and say they had ties with all these same artists that we would have seen with like the Eternals, like
Yeah,
all the big names, some up and coming, or
yeah.
like moderately big names, and
Hmm.
they like try to reboot this, and they're
Right,
just
right.
like what would you do? Like, how would you look at it from a
It just
investment
depends
standpoint?
on like whether you really like that or not. Because if you're just buying it just because like, oh, movie's coming out, like you're doing it for the wrong reason. And you're gonna lose that money like that way.
So
And
you
like
would
me,
even
I wouldn't even touch it.
okay. So kind of like
Yeah,
what I did with Eternals too. Like I only bought the
yeah,
Scotty Young cover because it was Scotty Young.
right.
Like I
Because
didn't
you're buying it for an artist specific, not
yeah,
because a movie speculation.
exactly.
Kind of like when they announced Shang-Chi, and then they started releasing Shang-Chi comic books.
Yeah.
I remember seeing people like already buying it. I'm pretty sure because of speculation, because I'm pretty sure like not too many of the new readers are have read any Shang-Chi
Yeah.
and haven't seen the Shang-Chi movie because it's not even out yet.
Yeah.
So I think there people are getting into it because of the speculation aspect for sure, because they see like how the Spider-Man comic books have been doing, some of the Avengers stuff. It's all going up in value because of the movies.
Yeah.
So kind of like with your what you said about earlier in regards to the Magic the Gathering set and the guy just going there and asking for the box set, and they don't even like collect
They
or
have
play Magic.
exactly. They don't even
Yeah,
understand like anything about magic. If I asked him what mana would, he would look at me
yeah,
like I had two heads, you know.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, so
so
anytime like people or at least our viewers, when you get into comic book collecting, collect what you love, collect what you believe in, that you think people will like and will eventually, want to purchase in the future. That's basically how I'm doing my collecting as of right now. And it's a lot more focused, and it's definitely saving me and making me more money than I did when I was just speculating and not, like not doing the research
yeah,
before you get into it. So the next thing I want to jump into real quick is a few another kind of like format or idea that I invested in, and that is uh, like low print and optioned type of comic books. And this one is Shadecraft. This one got optioned recently by Netflix. And when it first came out, I didn't. I think I got this last copy, and I didn't see many copies on the shelf, so I ended up picking it up just to try out a number one. And sure enough, after I think the first couple days, it was already going for about $15-20, and I'm pretty sure it was because of the low print and just and it was optioned as well. So
yeah,
another comic book series that was low print and not very much talked about. But I think the main reason why I bought this was partially for investment as well, and because of the low print and just the cover for this alone, like just popped, and that's We Live
I
number one.
knew I knew it was gonna be We Live
Yeah,
because I didn't even know about that, and I
yeah,
remember you had just bought it. I had just paid for my stuff, and you were like,
yeah,
you walked outside, and you're like, "Hey, did you buy We Live?"
yeah,
I was like, "What's We Live?" And
yeah,
then you showed me, and you're like, "They have one more. You should buy it." And I was like, "All right." I walked in there, bought it
yeah,
after spending like $80 or something stupid on comics, and I
yeah,
decided to spend another $4.
yeah.
And yeah, and then you told me like shortly after, like it had started going up to like 15-20.
Yeah, like within the first few weeks.
I don't know
Because
what
I
it's at
couldn't.
now, but
The last time I checked, it was going up to about 50.
damn, good thing I bought
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And the other one that I did buy from actually Metropolis, they had this for about $20. It's Dustin Wen incentive or cover variant, and this one is going for about 80 to 100 right
Oh
now.
wow,
Yeah,
that's the guy who
and
drew Sender and Descender, right? Or
yes,
Descender and
and
Descender.
that's the whole reason why I bought this actually, because I really loved his art. So I went ahead and picked it up.
Uh, Fun fact, you know that All American Comics that I was showing earlier?
Yeah.
He's the artist for that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't see it.
I know. Weird, right?
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he, you know, pencil or like maybe someone else did the colors, because the way Dustin Wen does his artwork is through watercolor
Yeah.
or with watercolor.
Yeah. Well, he's the one who's credited. I don't know what he did. Let
Mhm.
me look. But when I was looking up the price, it was crediting him. So let me just double check before I start spitting out false information.
Or it might also be like his artwork inside and
Oh,
not
well, yeah,
necessarily the cover.
yeah. Ooh, taking this out of the package. I haven't done this in a long time with this. Let me see. Does it say? Yeah, well, looking at this art again, I can actually definitely see. Yeah, look.
Dustin Wen. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, check out this art. Can you see it a little more now? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
let me see. Let me find I think there's a good splash page. But, well, actually, I found a page that might kind of.
Mhm.
Oh, here you go. This right here kind of has Dustin One written all over
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure.
Like, you know, just
Yeah.
all color, no like hard like black lines around anything.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Check
Nice.
it out. Bootleg Doc Ock right here. You see
That's
that?
awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I forgot. I haven't read this in so long. I should probably read it now that I have it out, or read it again now that I have it out.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't like this groundbreaking story or anything, but yeah,
Yeah.
weird to think that Dustin Nguyen had anything to do with this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty cool.
yeah.
But yeah, like low print runs for comic books that aren't really being talked about are most definitely going to be going up in value, just because just because of a low print, and there's going to be that small niche of following of people like wanting that comic book.
Oh
And
yeah.
one of those examples is which I don't have, which is ENIAC issue 1. That one, when it first came out, it was going for like 30 to 50 bucks right off the bat because it
So
was low print.
I actually found out some information about that from Eric over at
But
Atomic.
ENIAC.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess.
cool.
Um, so comic stores are not allowed to sell that for more than cover price.
Yeah.
So you know how like variants can come out and like they can mark them up and stuff.
Mhm.
If they who published ENIAC?
I can't remember.
Okay, so whoever published it, they kind
Yeah.
of have like a deal or like a
Right.
not a deal like a stipulation that if you're caught selling any of the stuff that they print
Yeah.
at anything at all over what the cover price is, they
Yeah.
completely cut you off, and all of their stuff is low print. And it's one of those things that like, yeah, you're not going to make extra money off of it, but you're going to get people into your store for it. And that's
Yeah.
kind of the appeal is, like, oh, I can come buy this like rare comic for $4, but hey, I may as well look around,
Yeah.
and like you're gonna get that foot traffic, or that's
Yeah.
kind of the goal, I guess. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and so he didn't tell me that. That's just, basic like marketing. Like you put something
Yeah.
in there for cheap that's sought after, you're gonna
Yeah.
get people in your store, and that people tend to spend money when they're in a store.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they'll just straight up cut you off, and you will never be able to carry any of their products or any of their like books,
Oh,
which
that's
is kind of
cool.
interesting. So he was like joking. He was like, yeah, he's like, I could sell it to you for $4 or whatever, but you can turn around and go sell that thing on eBay for $100 and I can't
Yeah.
do anything about it. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I was like, that's kind of cool though. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm trying to get some. He's like, I'm trying to
Mhm.
like get like in contact with them to be able to carry them. But
Yeah.
I don't know whatever came of that. I haven't talked to him about it since.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Another series that's pretty brand new, that I'm definitely going all in for, because I believe in the series. It might, because it might be like one of those like Invincible comics, where because Invincible had what, like a total of 144 issues,
Yeah.
and you could, like, before the TV animated series came out, you could still buy the entire set for, under $1,000 before, and now you're finding issue one going for around $1,000
Yeah. Oh
without
yeah.
any other issues. So I think this is another series that might, reach anywhere between 40 to 50 plus issues, and that's going to be Radiant Black by Kyle
Oh yeah.
Higgins. I feel like I definitely believe in this series, so that's why this is one series that I'm jumping in all of the variant covers, because I think they're honestly going to sell regardless of which variant that I'll have in the future anyway. So
Did you
yeah,
buy the reprints of all the issues that just came out?
the reprints, no, just the original prints. I haven't bought any reprint in regards to that. The only series that I've been buying reprints with are Berserker and The Last Ronin.
Oh, okay. Have you seen the reprints that they did for that? They're all like the same style. Like they all have like it's like on like issue one, I think he's facing left.
Yeah, and the other guy's facing
Facing
right.
left.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm seeing myself
They're like
opposite.
facing each
So
other. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like when you
Yeah.
put the two issues next to each other, facing each other, and
Yeah. I
then
did. I did see that.
they're really
Yeah.
cool. And I thought about
Hmm.
picking them up, but I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I'm not that committed yet. Like I'll buy the variants that come out for each issue.
Yeah.
But as
Yeah. I
far
don't
as
know how
jumping
I
into
feel.
reprints,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't know
I'm
how
not
I feel
100%
about
sold.
that, because even the Department of Truth reprints, like, I'm not completely a big fan of, but they do go up in value still. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like maybe I did buy I think the second print of the first issue, but I think that was it.
Yeah. See, if
Yeah,
I saw like a cool cover, like just like a single one,
yeah,
I would probably pick up a reprint. But the fact that they're doing a reprint for all issues, I think, because I think all four of the issues have that same cover, or
oh,
a
that's
very
cool.
like they're. Oh, I think I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I saw multiple. Maybe it's just the first three, but they're
Hmm.
trying to like hit you on every issue with this. And like I as like someone who's been a collector my whole life,
Yeah.
I couldn't just buy one. I'd
Yeah.
have to buy
If
all
yeah,
of them.
all of it. Yeah.
And then in 3 more months, for the next set of issues, if they do another version of it, I'd have to buy all of them again.
Yeah.
And it's not just like they got me once with like a
Yeah.
cool like cover like reprint. Like that's something that's killing the children.
Right. Right.
Like that's one thing, but to hit me with like all the covers in the same day, like they came out
Yeah.
the same day as each other.
Yeah, I think I did that for one series. It's called Secret or Seven Secrets. They did
Yeah.
that, like issues 1 through 6, where it showed like the main character on the first issue, and
Yeah.
then the next two characters on issue 2, and so on and so forth. And like up to issue 6, they have like a ton of characters on one page. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
So
you're the one who told me about that, right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Where by the time they got to like whatever issue it was, like the whole
Yeah.
thing is going to be covered.
Yeah, with a bunch of characters on it, which
Yeah.
was really cool. So I jumped on that because
See,
that's another series that I believe in as well.
that would be different because you get to do this over time.
Yeah,
They're not hitting like imagine if all of those came out the same day. Like imagine if
they
like
did.
oh never
Yeah,
mind, never mind. I thought
issues 1 through 6 all
were
came
just like
out.
coming to us. Oh, I didn't okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying they were slowly releasing. Oh no,
Oh
that's
no, no, no.
dirty.
It was
That's
all
why
at once.
that's why I'm okay with the Walking Dead releases.
Yeah,
Because they're doing this one issue at a time of these, and they're offering something new with it being in color.
yeah,
So I'm okay with that. But like 6 issues in one day,
yeah,
like that's dirty. Like that's
yeah.
really dirty.
But the covers look amazing together.
Oh, of course, of
Yeah,
course.
so that's where they got me.
Yeah.
But I
They
think
get me with connecting variants. Get me
oh yeah, connecting
that
variants are really nice too.
unrelated to this, but yeah, connecting
Yeah,
variants get me
yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
I just like, oh, I don't even like the series, but they did a connecting variant. Okay, I'll buy
yeah.
them. All right, I'm not that bad, but it's hard. It's hard to say no.
Right, right. Another uh investment that I definitely like investing in are almost honestly almost any like movie and homage variants. Or I'm definitely a sucker for that.
Oh
And
yeah, I've
one
noticed.
I think one to show off is this one. Let's see if you could check it out. And it's
Oh
the
yes.
Department of Truth. You know
Yeah.
where
I'm
I'm pretty
sad I
sure you
didn't
know
get
what
that.
movie that's
Of
from, right?
course. Evil Dead.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah,
I'm so sad I don't own that.
it's so nice. Yeah, that's another really cool one. Here's a couple other ones that I posted on our Instagram, and that is the Eminem
Oh
albums,
yeah, the
album
Slim Shady
covers
LP.
for Department of Truth.
Yeah. I saw those at Metropolis.
Yeah,
I saw them and I thought about buying them. Is that where you ended up getting them from?
yeah, I ordered it from their shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought about doing it or grabbing them,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, nah,
I think
like,
that they had like two sets, I think.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
decided to pass. I kind of regret it now.
Mhm.
You know, what are you
it's
gonna do?
it's kind of like that. I actually wanted a copy for myself, but I remember you really wanted it, so it was the Batgirl Purple Rain homage
You know,
cover.
it's
That
funny.
thing is awesome.
I was just looking at it right now because I have it displayed like hanging up in my room. I
Yeah,
was just looking at it and I was considering getting up to go get it when you mentioned like homage covers,
yeah, yeah,
but there's like wires and like it's kind of blocked, so I can't really grab it. But
yeah,
oh man, that cover is so nice, like
yeah. It
so
really is.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Shelby's actually grabbing it for me.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome.
So I'm gonna take this thing out of the top loader to do justice. But if you want to
Yeah,
talk about like homage movie covers,
yeah,
I'm trying to get out of that glare, stupid glare. Wait, will it be better on the side? Yeah, a little better. There you go.
yeah,
This cover is amazing. Like Princess Purple Rain and
yeah,
Batgirl together.
yeah. It's super awesome. And we actually have like a really cool little story behind that because
Oh yeah,
Joe was passing by where they had the comic books laid out, and he's like, "Oh, that's such a cool cover." I'm like, "Oh, why don't you buy it?" And he's like, I don't know, like maybe, I'll think about it," or like, "Oh, I forgot what you said," but you decided to just pass on it, and at least for that day. So as soon as you turned around, I told Luna, I'm like, "Hey, can you set that aside for me? I'm gonna buy it for him for his Christmas present or whatever."
nice. Yeah,
So she was able to like sneakily like put it on the side, and I paid her, and I had her put it in the bag and stuff already. And yeah, and then I remember you telling me like maybe a few days or a week later or something like, "Oh, like I think I wanted to go back and get it, but like someone already got it."
yep. Yeah, I missed it. I was so
Yeah.
sad. Like just so bummed that I missed it. So
And you had no idea I got it,
yeah,
huh?
and shit, you were there when I went, like obviously when I opened it. So you
Yeah,
saw that like look of
the reaction.
surprise on my face. Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
oh my God, like I never thought I'd own this,
yeah.
because I
That was
regretted
super cool.
not buying it. Like
Yeah.
that was one of those moments where if you think you should buy something, not
Yeah.
even from an investment standpoint, but just for your own thing, like just buy it. Don't like
Yeah.
if you have the money, like the what was it? The Spider-Man, like was it number like 62 or something?
Uh-huh.
Or like it was some like stupid low number in the original Spider-Man run that I saw.
Oh, right, right.
You remember that? And like I didn't
The
buy
one
it.
with
Like I had the
Mysterio on it.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
had the money for it and I didn't buy it. And now I'm just like, why didn't I buy it? I don't really think it was number 62. That would be like I don't know actually. I'm gonna look this thing up.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure if it was like a first appearance of Mysterio or something,
No, oh
or
no, no,
but
no.
it
That thing
was
would have been
definitely like a lot older.
yeah, that thing would have been way more expensive. It like
Yeah.
oof, yeah, that thing would have been like hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things like I saw it, it was in front of me. I had every chance to buy it and I didn't. You know, it was
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah, it was actually really hard for me too because I bought it and I'm like, damn, now I'm gonna have to hold this for like how many months?
It was only like a month or so, wasn't it?
No, it was like I think I bought it in September or October, one of those.
Okay,
So I had to hold
like
it for like 2 to 3 months.
it was number 66. I don't know if you could see it. Let me lower the setting. Does it? Yeah, that one, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, number
yeah.
66.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. Original print. It was in a really good condition
Yeah, it was.
and it was relatively cheap. And
Yeah. I feel
yeah.
like when it comes to older comics, you just have to be like really picky on which one you decide to invest in because you're gonna have to hold on to that for a while
Oh
before
yeah,
you
no, definitely.
possibly sell it.
But that's something like it's Spider-Man. I wouldn't have sold it.
Yeah,
That would have been something that like I gave to my kids, or
yeah,
my family realizes I own, in so many years and like fight over it when I die to try to sell it for a couple $100. I don't even know if that would like shoot that high, to where it's like something that would like tear a family apart, but you never know. Like
yeah. You
it's
never
just
know.
it's another one of those things that it already like, what 12 cents when it came out to
Yeah,
like $60 when I saw it.
yeah,
Think of that like return on it
yeah,
from someone who bought it then. So who knows, like maybe another 30, 40 years it'll be a couple $100,
yeah,
because with every year, like there becomes less and less copies because
yeah,
things happen, things get damaged, things get lost,
yeah. And that's
things
kind of
get
what I'm
destroyed.
hoping. That's kind of what I'm hoping to for like a handful of these of modern comic books.
Yeah, just that they shoot up because of the already sort of small amount becomes smaller.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if the
Um,
cult following like just goes throughout the years and still in the band, then there'll be
mhm.
definitely a buyer in the future.
One thing I do want to bring up, we can
Yeah,
cycle back to what you're bringing up if you had more to say, but this is the
yeah,
last thing I have out to show.
okay,
That's why. So I
cool.
just want to, one thing that I'm going to recommend from an investing standpoint is if there's a book that has been talked about being released for years and just never comes out, and like they're promising it and they're talking about it and it just gets delayed for whatever reason. I don't mean for like a couple months, I mean a few years. Like, there's been talks of it. Once that comes out, grab any like incentive variant that you can without paying a stupid amount of money. And what I did that with was this. It was the Three Jokers. uh, this is something I'm looking at long term, and they didn't do a huge print run of this variant. There's the 1 in 100, I think, too. That's a black and white
Yeah,
cover of all three of these. So
yeah,
that was issue 1, issue 2, and then issue 3. So this being a series that was like, I don't want to say promised, but had been talked about for a long time, and it was just like, I guess like delayed, put on the back burner, whatever, just held up. It builds a lot of anticipation for a book, and then it comes out, and if it's even half as good as the Three Jokers was, you potentially have, you know some money on, like, some future money on your hands, because these instantly shot up to like $25 to $30 the day they came out.
yeah,
And time will tell, but they're probably going to go up a little more over time. And once COVID is not a thing so much, I guess. And Comic Cons happen, and there's more signings happening. Like getting these like signed and stuff by artists will only potentially increase the value. There was so much hype behind the Three Jokers, and when it finally hit, like, oh, that first issue, you knew why there was hype behind it. And
oh
you
yeah,
actually you lagged on reading the first issue, didn't you?
yeah. I mean, I no, actually, I think I read the first issue right away, but like when the other issues came out, I didn't read them right away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was like trying to figure out like what timeline what are they referencing
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff like that because I don't know, not much about DC. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
But
the artwork and just the way it was written, it was still enjoyable for sure.
oh, it was amazing. And
Mhm.
this actually, Sort of, actually, this is kind of related to the Eternals concept,
Mhm.
where but this took 3 books to do, but 3 books that released relatively close, and I feel like being like a little mini event, not even a mini series, like this felt like a mini event, you know.
Yeah.
uh there were so many covers for each. there were there's the main cover, and I think 5 or 6 um non-incentive variants. Then there were all the incentive variants that hit. There
Yeah.
was the 1 in 25s. I think it said it was a 1 in 100s, and I think there was another one. And then they each had additional prints. And these books are only 8 or 9 months old at this point. And every store had stacks and stacks and stacks of covers of each cover.
Yeah.
I'm sure you noticed. And now
Yeah.
they're gone. Like, I don't really see them anymore. So I know they had like a crazy high print run, but the fact
Yeah.
that they're gone just kind of says a lot.
Yeah.
So I think even in this case, like, I probably should have grabbed all of the covers, but at a higher price point, I was kind of hesitant to do it because I think
Yeah.
were they $10 each or like $8
No,
each?
like 7 or 8 bucks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hesitant because I had to buy or I bought these variants too.
Yeah.
So my
And
recommendation. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and I think around that time we weren't really like hardcore into investing. We were more like just wanting to collect the
Yeah,
variants because they look cool.
yeah, but it's one of those things that I looked back on, and it's kind of like it was sort of a lesson. Like, I realized, like, something that was delayed and
Hmm.
just put off for so long and promised for so long, and it ended up being a hit. Like, invest in that, if you think it's going to be a hit. And nobody really sat there thinking like, dude, the Eternals is going to be the next big thing. But everybody knew that this had a lot of promise given who wrote it and all that. There's
Yeah.
so much promise here,
Yeah.
and they followed through with that promise.
Yeah. Uh,
So yeah, last thing I was going to say about it, just
mm,
that's a good way to speculate, is something that doesn't get too out of control with hype though. But if it has a lot of hype but not where it's just like you got people doing videos on YouTube and just like anticipating the best comic book to ever come out, like,
mhm.
when it starts hitting that level of hype, you tend to kind of know it's not going to be that good.
Yeah, if
you
you're
know
pushing it too hard.
yeah, like, it because it starts to hit like this unrealistic expectation in your head. But
Yeah.
there was always just a lot of buzz and a lot of talk about the Three Jokers.
Yeah.
And everybody was just like kind of sitting there like impatient for it and just wanting it.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah. I
good
feel like
good choice for
that
me.
was yeah, that was a really good choice. But I feel like that kind of correlates to not comic book related, but Cyberpunk 2077, of like the hype being so high for that game,
Yeah,
and just when it finally came out, it just didn't deliver.
yeah. And I was probably alone in this, but I kept saying, just because The Witcher 3 was such a good game
Yeah.
doesn't mean Cyberpunk's going to be a good game. Because
Oh,
I
not at
actually
all.
I had
Yeah.
this conversation actually with somebody last night,
Hmm.
because we were talking about The Witcher, and he was saying how they're on his, like, all 3 of them are on his backlog to play, and like he wants to
Yeah.
get to them. And I was like, just know that the first Witcher looks terrible. Like, it is so bad. Like, it has aged so poorly. And even by the time The Witcher 3 came out, the first Witcher aged terribly. The second Witcher, I played it right when it came out, and although I really enjoyed it, and like the story for the first one was great, story for the second one's great. Overly complex battle system for no reason. It didn't need to be as complex as it was. It damn near hit like combos and like a parry and
Hmm.
riposte kind of thing. It just seemed unnecessary when it's a story driven game.
Hmm.
So uh The Witcher 3 comes out, and like this thing's a massive hit. The game's incredible. But it's just like people were expecting The Witcher 3 like level of hype from Cyberpunk, but it's just like, well, if you look at pre Witcher 3, they didn't have that level of hype in any circles, like not even in like small like PC gaming communities. People weren't sitting there just
Mhm.
like, oh man, The Witcher 2 is coming out. This is going to be our game of the year. Like nobody cared.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say nobody cared. People cared. I cared. But
Yeah.
it like they had never seen that type of success. So to think that this company is going to have the same success twice in a row when, you know, like their first two games didn't really do that, and this is
Mhm.
straying so far off that path of The Witcher 3, if this was like The Witcher 4 or like a story about Ciri,
Yeah.
tied into The Witcher, then I would have understood that hype a little more, like because
Mhm.
they've perfected the series now,
Yeah.
like they proved that they can make The Witcher a triple A game,
Mhm.
and hit that hype, but like now they're doing like a first person shooter, like story based game with like choices. It's just it wasn't what CD Projekt Red had been doing, you know.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I didn't even base it off of the success of The Witcher 3. I was just basing it off of the uh just the idea of being in a futuristic setting, having like the choices, kind of like the stuff that they had in Mass Effect,
Yeah,
and being able to do all this different stuff in this world is what I was attracted to, and what a lot of other players were attracted to, besides the Witcher 3 being successful and whatnot. But yeah, that was definitely overhyped because of the, long development and just the pushback and delays and stuff. And finally people, just pushing them like, oh, just release the game already, because they just had so much marketing for it that it just by the time it came out, it just didn't turn out so well.
I think if I'm not mistaken, that game was
Mhm.
delayed 3 times from its
Yeah.
initial release date.
Yeah.
3 times, and it still was a disaster.
Yeah,
You know,
unfortunately.
yeah, the game had so much promise, and honestly,
Yeah.
I think a couple patches, or a couple more patches, could really, really make that game the game it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I'm probably gonna butcher the quote, but it was one of the guys from Nintendo. Um, oh my god, was it Miyamoto? He said something about like a oh my god, I don't want to ruin this quote, but something
Mhm.
along the lines of like a rush game is always going to be like looked at as a bad game. That's paraphrasing his quote. So it's just
Yeah.
like take your time, do it right, and don't rush it for any reason.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much you fix it, no matter how good you try to do, it'll never live down, you know, what you release. Like look at Mighty Number 9. That game had more promise than anything that said Mega Man on it in the last like 15 years,
Yeah.
there hadn't been anything that said Mega Man that was worth a damn since what was it Legends 2, I think.
Yeah.
Like there was literally nothing that said Mega Man outside of like collections that came out,
Yeah.
and so when we're hearing like Mighty Number 9 is, done by Inafune, and he's gonna like bring back like, what we all loved about Mega Man, and then he
Yeah.
released this like terrible game. They
Yeah.
changed the color palette, like it almost went from looking like, a typical Mega Man color palette to like almost like pastel colors.
Yeah. It was
And it's like,
terrible.
yeah, they changed that, like they changed some other stuff, and the game ended up just being really bad.
Yeah.
um that nobody's gonna ever care. Nobody wants Mighty Number 9 2, or
Yeah.
part 2. Nobody wants a sequel. Nobody wants an origin story. Like
Yeah.
it's done. Like he ruined it. And then Igarashi comes and he does Bloodstained, takes his
Yeah.
time with it, um, ends up releasing like a NES style Bloodstained, kind of as like a like here, like please be patient, but here's this for now, like we need more
Yeah.
time. Takes his time. Bloodstained is one of the most amazing games that has come out in a long time. I don't know if you've played it, but it's very like it's Symphony of the Night pretty much in
Yeah.
2019 or whatever. Yeah, 2019. Like
Yeah. I think I
it,
bought it, but I haven't played it.
oh, it was so good. And
Yeah.
it just shows that like two of the biggest games from like our childhood,
Yeah.
and the creators in a very similar position to make a game, based like a spiritual successor to their previous franchise. They have this opportunity, and one just completely bombs it, and the other makes a game that's going to go down like as one of the greatest reboots in history,
Yeah.
or not reboots. I'm sorry, spiritual successors in history.
Yeah.
So I got way off topic with that. So
Yeah.
I tend to do that a lot. So
Yeah, so going
that
back to the reason why, basically the reason why I brought up Cyberpunk was just to, if something's overhyped, like don't, um, shoot, I don't even remember what the hell you you mentioned about the comic book, about something being overhyped or whatever,
oh
and then wanted
how
to get released.
when it gets to a point where people are like talking how this is going to be the next big thing, like it's going to be the best of its kind, and
Yeah.
nothing's going to touch it, and
Hmm.
it starts to become unrealistic, like
Yeah.
everything you want, like No Man's Sky was another one,
Yeah.
where the creators promising all this stuff, and then all these people are overhyping this, and then they don't deliver, and
Yeah.
it's bad, you know and that kind of worries me about, like, from an investing standpoint sometimes, like if people like start praising something too much.
Yeah.
Granted, I did this a lot. I'm very guilty of this with King in Black. I
Yeah.
was talking about it nonstop before this thing came out. Like, I
Yeah.
think I would mention King in Black at least
Hmm.
once a day, if not more. Like, give me time to talk about King in Black, and I will talk about it. Or at the
I
time,
think you mentioned it in almost every podcast issue for a little while.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Even
surprised if I still, like, if I haven't missed an issue where I mention it.
yeah.
But look at it, like it turned out to be incredible, like
Hmm.
there was a reason why, I talked about it so much. But no, imagine if a couple hundred of me with a lot of like YouTube clout, and I'm making videos talking about this,
Yeah.
like it's going to be the greatest thing. It's going to change the trajectory of comics and like writing in general.
Yeah.
And King in Black is like, this style is like the future of comic books. And Donny Cates is like now like the greatest writer of all time. Like, imagine if like it started pushing that, like King in Black probably would have flopped.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't
Possibly.
say flopped. I'm sorry, but King in Black would not have been what it was. It would not have been nearly as successful, and it's because the first issue would have come out, people would have been like, "Damn, this is really good," but like
Hmm.
it's not as good as everybody claimed. And then issue two, like people
Yeah.
would have just started caring less and less.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it wasn't as good as everybody promised.
Yeah.
But because it didn't get to that point, it's just like it let people kind of sit there and relax and not build these like unrealistic expectations for what they were going to get every couple
Yeah.
of weeks.
I think one series that was able to do that, even with the hype and stuff and the expectations, was The Last Ronin. That one definitely lived up. Like you, even with the delays and all that stuff, and like people having to wait, even to this day, like having to wait for each issue to come out, like
It's killing me. It's
it's
like a
definitely
slow death.
killing us. But then once it finally releases, we're like, oh man, I need more.
There are very few things I make a point to read that same day. Like, if I
Yeah.
cannot find time to read comics, I've squeezed in The Last Ronin all three
Oh
times so
yeah. Yeah. Same
far.
here.
Yeah, it's been like a guarantee, and it's delivered every time so far. But this is one very, very small exception, to that rule.
Yeah.
That like where anything else would have been considered
Hmm.
overhyped, and I still think this was underhyped.
Yeah.
And I say that because
What do
it
you think?
didn't.
The Last Ronin was underhyped?
Well, yes and no.
Mm.
Overhyped within the comic book communities, but it
Hmm.
never branched outside of the comic book community too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that like your average person was hearing about so much.
Hmm.
Like, for example, as we talked about in our last podcast, like I love World of Warcraft. It's not
Yeah.
like I was sitting there and just like people constantly talking about the Last Ronin in like the chats and stuff.
Right.
It
Right.
it didn't hit to that point, where it was like
Yeah.
nonstop everywhere. And you know, working at GameStop when the first one came out, or the first two came out, there'd be people coming in with like Ninja Turtle shirts and, you know, like buying like Ninja Turtle like stuff that we carried and all that. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, like, have you read The Last Ronin? And they're like, no, what is that? I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
sit down, because I'm going to tell you one of the greatest stories ever told. You know, and I would just tell them about The Last Ronin,
Yeah.
and all of them were just like, man, I haven't thought about buying a comic book in a long time, but I think I might have to go find this.
Yeah.
You know, and I never gave spoilers away. I never told them who The Last Ronin is. You know,
Yeah.
I never gave any of that away, and all of them left just like, man, like, this is so awesome. Like, how did I not know about this? And that's where
Yeah.
I say it was underhyped to some small
Hmm.
degree, that it was big amongst comic book fans, but it didn't hit like all the Turtles fans. It wasn't like, you know, everybody within like the Ninja Turtle, you know, community, I guess, or, you know,
Right.
fans of it, like, weren't all aware of this. And
Yeah.
granted, this was a small portion of the fans that I've ran into.
Hmm.
Can't say it was like that, you know, everywhere, but
Yeah.
you know, when something's overhyped, everybody knows about it. You know, I might get a lot of hate for this. Something that was definitely overhyped was Final Fantasy VII. Like, people who didn't even have JRPGs or RPGs in general on their radar were aware of this game. You know, wanted to play it, anticipated playing it. You know, and it was like crazy overhyped before it came out, and it was one of those things that shouldn't have lived up to its expectations, and it somehow did. Um,
Hmm.
and that's why I said I might get some hate for that, because it starts off like I'm about to bash the game. But people who would have like never even thought like, oh, Final Fantasy, like, no, I don't play RPGs.
Hmm.
But this
I think.
game, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, God. Oh,
No,
I was
you go.
just gonna say that I think it lived up to the hype because it was a lot of people's like first RPG. So
Yeah,
like
but that's the
uh
thing. Like,
yeah.
it hit outside of its normal circles to where like
Hmm.
everybody knew. Like, people who in 2021 would be Fortnite players, you know,
Hmm.
who, I can't believe we have a podcast now where I mentioned Fortnite, but that's beside the point. So this is our final issue. We're never making another. No. It would be like people who only play that, you know, who are now anticipating an RPG, like a turn-based, you know, like old school style RPG, are now
Hmm.
crazy excited for this game. That is overhype, and The Last Ronin didn't hit something like that, you know.
Hmm.
And that's like where I say, like, yes, very, very, very overhyped within its own like comic book world,
Yeah.
but it didn't branch out. At least I never saw it branch out beyond that.
Hmm.
And so some underhype in that regard. Does that make sense? Like, do you get where I'm going with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I honestly think I love it so much that I just wish the entire world knew about it, and I could
Yeah.
like talk
Same
about it
here.
with anybody that I walk outside and just talk to people about the last
Yeah.
Ronin. But okay, so back to the original point of this. I'm done with
Yeah.
anything like that. Those aren't my only investments, but
Okay.
those are the
For
only
sure.
ones that I had ease of access to without having to move a ton of stuff around. But some stuff like
All
I
right, for
still
sure.
love. So feel free to carry on with anything you have.
All right. Yeah, let me try to finish up here. So just a few other variant covers I wanted to show off. Was another movie homage variant. These are really cool to invest in because if you invest in these, you're investing in people that love horror movie covers, or people that just like they like, for example, this one is from it's a homage cover to Pet Cemetery. So you get the Pet Cemetery fans are like, oh, cool, that's a a Pet Cemetery movie, but with with actual pets in it or whatever.
So
This is from Stray Dogs, by the
I've
way.
been
So
sorry, I've been trying to peg what that cover was, and I couldn't.
oh, okay. Yeah,
You
it's Pet
posted it on our
Cemetery.
Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And I intentionally ignored where you mentioned what it's from,
Uh-huh.
because I wanted to try to figure it out on my own
Oh,
without
okay.
without looking into it, without doing. I just wanted to
Yeah.
try to recall, like, what horror movie is this from?
Yeah.
Like, what used that poster?
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. So you just told me right now.
Oh, there you go.
But that ended that. I've been trying to figure this out for weeks.
Yeah, I think when I was looking into it, I'm like, I could have sworn it's Pet Cemetery, but I had to double check,
Yeah.
and sure enough, it was. The last homage cover that came out for it from that series was it looked really cool, and I feel like I've seen the cover somewhere before, but sure enough, like it was a movie that I've never seen. It was called Demons or something like that.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, it's a 1980s homage cover.
Oh, okay.
But another not a homage cover, but this is more of like a what would you call this, like a cameo or whatever. But the fact that I saw this cover done, this is one of those like limited edition covers done by Hive Comics, and that is the Department of Truth with
Oh
a
wow.
Something Is Killing the Children like cameo of the comic book there,
Yeah.
and one of the Beatles albums as well. So
Yeah. Abby
I thought
Ray.
that was really cool. And
Yeah.
like I think, oh, it says the limited number. It says limited to 750. So only
Wait,
750
can
copies of
you
this.
hold that still?
Yeah.
It looks. Is that the JFK? Yeah. So
Yeah. And the
JFK, Abbey Road, Something Is Killing the Children, and to the
uh
right, what is that? The one that's kind of sideways on the right.
I think the another like JFK scene, or like
Okay,
uh
because
when
that
they're in the car.
okay, because that kind of looks like and now that it's closer, it doesn't, but it kind of looked like the Crimson Ghost from the Misfits.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't, but it just kind of looked like it.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a
but
really cool cover.
I think that's pretty much it from what I wanted to talk about. So for those of you that do want to get into investing, just focus on what you love, what you believe in will do really well. If you're getting into this just to flip comics and not really love comics, then you're probably going to do bad or worse. So yeah, if you guys have any questions in regards to investing, or if you want to tell us or give us tips on how to invest better, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Not looking for like quit my job, you know, like level of investing, you know, not like that or anything, but wouldn't hurt to make some extra money. Like I said, have the hobby pay for itself is always good.
Yeah,
But
that's if you guys can do that, make sure you do that. That way you don't spend your own money, you know, into a hobby that's not going to make you money.
yeah, I mean, it's not making me any money right now, but
I mean, not right now. It's,
eh,
eventually, if I decide to sell all my stuff right now, I will definitely make money out of
oh
it.
yeah.
So
Right, like your initial investment, that like the thousands of dollars you put into
yeah,
it,
yeah,
you would end up on top,
yep,
but you'd have no more comics, and that wouldn't be fun.
yeah, definitely not.
So, one thing I want to point out, I don't know if it's
Hmm.
just like time or this is kind of unrelated,
Yeah,
time or maybe like the ease of doing something like this now versus when we first started talking about doing a project together, doing
yeah,
like video game stuff, and we always
yeah.
like at work would talk about doing stuff like this at Coffee Bean. We
Oh yeah, yeah.
always like, oh, we're gonna do it, like we tried and we failed and we
Right,
never really
right.
got anything off the ground.
Yeah.
um I don't know if it's just that, like, a matter of like time and circumstances, like
Hmm.
happening during like a quarantine and we had the time to do it, or it's like, or do I actually love like comics so much more than I've ever loved video games? And
I've oh, go ahead.
oh, and like I'm willing to put like the more time and like money into this than I put some
Right,
stupid amounts of money into video games, but a lot
I
of
did
stuff I
too.
was lucky to get
Yeah,
on release, or
yeah,
early in, that I didn't pay crazy amounts of money for it.
yeah,
But I don't know. Like, it just seems weird. Like, I just want to throw that out there. Just like we
yeah,
finally like committed to something
yeah.
and have like ran with it, and like we're seeing it through. I love that.
Yeah, same here. Honestly, I think it's because before I our ideas weren't very focused. I knew we wanted to do video games, but I think we wanted to do it in like a, I don't know, like an article and review format, but we didn't have a plan to like execute it and go with it. It's all just like there's no schedule or anything. So
Yeah.
the fact that we were able to do this one, I think what you wanted to do on Instagram was to post like a daily basically, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's realistic. Like maybe once or twice a week, because I think every day might be a little overwhelming, which we're pretty much almost getting to that. Which is it
Yeah.
is kind of getting overwhelming, but I think once we get our foot down and uh, stay on the schedule, then it's definitely doable. And I hope our viewers support the stuff that we're putting out, the content. Hope you guys are enjoying it,
I
and
hope
just as
so
much
too.
as we are. So
Oh, I go back and I watch this stuff, and I don't watch like a whole like our whole podcast, like
yeah,
certain episodes, but
just some of the
like
topics.
I'll jump like here and there to like little bits. Like sometimes like I'll check like on my YouTube whatever, and I'll see like a partially played video of ours, and I'm just like, oh okay, and then like I'll just
Yeah,
go back and see like how many of like I partially played, and some of them are like 30 minutes in, some of them are like
yeah,
40 minutes in and whatnot. Some of them
yeah,
are just like 20 minutes in. But yeah, like it's just like I go back and like I check it out and I still enjoy it.
yeah.
You
It's
know,
pretty awesome.
like I go through our IG and like I check it out sometimes, like because I like obviously like I'm not the only one posting, so if
Yeah,
I'm not on Instagram that much for a day or two, like
yeah,
you for all I know could like post stuff, and then like I start getting notifications.
hmm
I'm like I'm barely on my own personal Instagram, so like it's
right,
not that,
right.
you
Yeah.
know. Like did Chris post something, and then I'll check, and like sure enough you'll have posted something, and
Yeah,
it's
even
getting
I
like
get excited if any of you guys post anything on our Instagram or YouTube.
yeah, like
So it's
it's
cool.
weird because like when I don't post, like I look forward to seeing what you posted, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of cool, like so it even goes to show that we appreciate our own stuff, I guess,
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
even though you're the one doing it, like it still falls under comiXalliance, and
Yeah, it's
you know
great.
yeah, so I hope other people look forward to seeing our content, and if you've made it this far in the podcast today or tonight, um, always feel free to throw out suggestions of what you guys would like to see, like to hear, like to see, stuff you'd like us to post. Maybe switch up things. Like we post a lot of covers, maybe show like some splash pages, different angles of shots, maybe like I don't know, like a little more like stylistic photos, you know, just anything. Like I'm always up for, you know, some suggestions, and like whatever like people want to see. Like I do these things because it's what I love, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in the style I'm doing it. As long as I get to post this, and talk about comics, I'm always up
Yeah.
for that. So, so I think we're pretty much at the end
Yep.
with that, right? I didn't have anything else to add in terms of my investments. Like I said, to get to some of the stuff, it would take a while,
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
I went through my boxes the other day, and I had already like rearranged a bunch of stuff. I was not about to do that again. I
Yeah, I still
probably
have to
should
do
have
it.
been. I probably should have anticipated this better and taken that stuff out. But then I would have had to just go through and put it all away.
Yeah,
At
that's the
least the
fun part
stuff.
about it. At least you get
Yeah.
to look through your stuff again and like see things and like have memories for
Yeah.
when you got certain comic books and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But
but
at least
this
these I
is
was able to grab easily. Sorry, go on.
yeah. I know you're good. I was just gonna tell the public that welcome to our channel. If you guys if this is the first video you guys are watching us on, this is gonna be a long journey when it comes to investing in comics. So welcome to our journey. We'll maybe eventually get into the slabbing game or getting great comic books graded. So we'll see where we go from here on our quest.
Wait. One last thing, because you mentioned that slabs. I got one right here.
Yeah,
It's only a 9.4, sadly. Oh, it's dusty. I should probably
yeah.
clean this.
But
But
you bought that slabbed, right?
yeah. But just
Yeah.
it's
But it's
the
nice to have one.
Batman Who Laughs #1 version variant. This thing is amazing. I
Nice.
saw it and I was just like, I need to own this. Like, I don't care if it's only 9.4. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even worth that much money, but like, it's just such
Hmm.
an awesome cover. So
Yeah.
this was my first slab. So
Nice.
I'm gonna always remember it. Um,
Yeah.
even if someday it shoots up in value and I sell it, um,
Yeah.
I'm always gonna remember what my first slab was. So I hope when you buy your first one, you remember
Uh,
that.
I don't think I'm gonna buy my first one slabbed. I think I'm gonna get one slabbed.
Well, I'm just saying like your first slab in general, like
Oh, right, right.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
like even if it's something in 20 years you don't remember or you don't own, I hope
Yeah.
it's something that you're always gonna remember.
Yeah. I have a few choices. I think it might be either The Last Ronin or Something Is Killing the Children.
Yeah, that would
One of
actually
those.
be a really good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some other stuff I want to send out.
Mhm.
You know what? Maybe yeah, actually, I'll save that thought for a little bit later.
Yeah.
That's actually a thought that I would rather discuss with you
Oh, yeah, of course.
uh off camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed the video in the background I played. You guys probably saw a nice chunk of this series. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to get knocked for a copyright. uh, it playing in the background is probably bad enough. I don't want to get
Well,
knocked
the fact
by
that you're
saying,
pointing it out, then
and nobody who's going to watch this looking for copyright infringement is going to last this long. No, I'm just kidding. Um, yeah, but I got a free little show in the background. I don't know if you noticed, but I caught myself watching it a couple
yeah, same here.
times.
All right.
Okay, so
Well, that's it, guys. So thank you so much. We'll see you guys again on the next episode.
all right, and remember, follow us on Instagram at comiXalliance, COMIXALLIANCE. Thank you guys, and have a good night.